Oh no! Oh gosh. I'll read some good ones for you. Get some rest. Have a good night. Let me turn on the hello everybody. It's time for a little bit of a different sort of stream for our newcomers. Welcome in, welcome in. While everybody's getting in, I'm just gonna be setting up, getting everything kind of situated. For those of you who haven't been to an SCP reading stream before, this is going to be a little bit different than our normal streams. I'm going to be keeping a cool and even voice, and you can consider this reading a bedtime story. Bye-bye, Phantom. Have a good one. Hi, Malachi. It's good to see you. It's good to see everybody tonight. I know this is a little bit of a different stream than what I had originally planned. We're gonna have some more cool stuff going on Thursday. I'm planning on having a good one. Yeah. Welcome in. All right. So, hi everybody. Welcome into SCP stream. We do this every once in a while where we sit down and we read SCP articles. Tonight I picked out a bunch of them that I thought were a little bit on the creepier side, a little bit on the grosser side, maybe. I'm okay with SCP. Good. I'm doing good. I am enjoying myself tonight. I had a really good night. I made some stir fry earlier, so I've been munching on stir fry. And yeah, I've been just having a good time. I'm glad to see everybody in tonight. Tis a good night. Yeah. Let me see here. I think I've got everything pulled up. I do. Let's see here. Yep. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 SCPs that I have queued up here. It's gonna be a lot of reading. I've got my trusty cup. We're gonna have plenty of sippies for today. And yeah. Let's jump into it in a minute. Just waiting on maybe a couple more people to get in before we get started. How's everybody's night going so far? I'm very having a very good good day, good evening, and I hope you all are too. Got great news, Iris. Oh, what's the good news? What kind of good news you got for me? Excited to hear what your good news is. Oh, my back. I'm getting too old for this. What's your good news? Share with the class. Put it on the table. What's the good news for today? Oh, so I am just a little bit sleepy tonight, so we're gonna be pretty relaxed. Not a whole lot going on. Let me actually set this up. All messages. Highest rank in Mobile Legends after 6 long years. Nice job, my dude. Good job. Let's see here. I think next I'll be headed to the global rank. Good shit, my man. Good job, dude. I'm sure you're gonna have a really good time with it. So, now begins our SCP reading. I'm actually gonna turn the music down a little bit more. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm all good to go. I think I'm all set up here. Feel free to ask questions. I love talking about SCP. I talk about it pretty frequently, and if you have any questions about weird classifications, names, proper nouns, anything like that, I'll be happy to give you a rundown of what that specifically means. Just feel free to vibe, enjoy yourself. Today's a very big decompression relaxation stream for everybody. So let's jump into it. The first SCP on our list today is SCP-4975. SCP-4975 is Object Class Euclid, and its special containment procedures are as follows. SCP-4975 is to be contained in a standard steel containment cell. Human contact with SCP-4975 is prohibited. I'll never get used to HD Iris. Where's the Shadow Realm? I know. The Shadow Realms are no more. You get to look at me in crisp, clear HD, and you have to deal with it. In case of a containment breach, any Foundation personnel persistently hearing a rhythmic cracking noise are to isolate themselves from other people and patiently wait until SCP-4975 is put back into its containment chamber or the cracking stops. Description: SCP-4975 is a vaguely humanoid entity with various avian attributes, the most notable of which is its beak. Its body structure is long and thin overall, and its limbs taper off into formless extremities, lacking distinct digits. A thick, hardened skin layer covers the entirety of its body, including its beak. Its cervical vertebrae are not interconnected and appear to be able to move independently of one another. SCP-4975 continuously rotates them one vertebra at a time, from back to front, ending with its head in a rhythmic fashion. This produces a clicking or cracking sound with each movement. SCP-4975 only stops moving its neck in this manner when it's preparing for an attack. SCP-4975 has been observed to stalk future victims for extended periods of time before finally deciding to attack, sometimes as long as 10 months or more. It kills its victims by means of its appendages, which it uses to bludgeon and tear apart the victim's body. It will always eat the cadaver afterwards, and an average adult human appears to last at about 3 months. SCP-4975 is thought to be the subject of multiple folk tales from Germany, its country of origin. Evidence of SCP-4975 dates as far back as 1538, with both written and visual artistic depictions of it having been uncovered from that time period. There are also multiple German nursery rhymes that are thought to concern SCP-4975, one of which can be found in Addendum 4975-B. Despite SCP-4975's permanent presence in its containment cells, new incidents and sightings continue to be reported across the region of origin. Crossed out, we do also have investigation by Foundation operatives is currently underway, followed by investigation discontinued indefinitely, reclassification of SCP-4975 to Keter class Reclassification of SCP-4975 to Keter class is currently pending. See Addendum 4975-A. Addendum 4975-A. The following event log details the contents of a video captured by the body cam of one of the Foundation operatives investigating recent SCP-4975 related reports near the Black Forest, Schwarzwald, Germany. No audio was recorded. Begin log. Forward. Foundation operatives were investigating a Freiburg citizen who had told local law enforcement that he had been hearing a rhythmic clicking noise for 4 months, and that someone was stalking him. The operatives had taken him into their custody and told law enforcement that he experienced I'm not used It's been so long since I did a reading stream. I'm really not used to it anymore. Let me try this again. It's a good thing that these are not recordings. The following was recorded on the day they had ordered the man to show them where he had last seen SCP-4975. Several armed Foundation operatives are walking into a wooded area. One can be seen talking into a handheld transceiver. A Freiburg citizen is among them. He appears to be out of breath and nervous, looking around frantically and clutching his arm to his chest. After a few minutes go by, he freezes in place. He says something and points towards a tree. Some of the operatives turn to see what he's looking at. They appear confused. There is nothing behind the tree visible on camera. The man seems to panic and stumbles backwards, still pointing at nothing. Note, according to surveillance footage, at this exact time, SCP-4975 had stopped rotating its neck and was instead staring motionless at the southeastern corner of its containment cell. Suddenly, the local man is forcibly thrown to the ground. He's struck multiple times in the head and torso by an unseen aggressor. Several operatives fire at the presumed source of the attack, but hit nothing. One attempts to grab the man and drag him away, but a large wound starts appearing on his midriff from where he seems to be anchored. The operative gives up after attempting to move the man, only further tears the wound open. The operatives, talking into the handheld receiver, then raises his firearm, shoots the local man in the head, killing him. After a few moments, strips of flesh start getting ripped off the body one by one. Once the strips are completely detached from the body, they vanish. Note, at this time, SCP-4975, which had not been fed, appeared to be eating. End log 1609-2002, 135702. Addendum 4975-B. An old nursery rhyme from Germany believed to be about SCP-4975. It has lost most of its rhyming scheme due to being translated from German. Tick-tock, the cuckoo clock ticks. Cuckoo, the bird inside sings. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. As ticks the time, so ticks your heart. May you live long as you hear its song. Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock. Listen close for when it stops. The hatching comes out of his home. Tick-tock, 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 tick. Did you hear it? Did it stop? My child, it meant your time was up. And that was the first one that we had here. It was a short one. I wanted to do I threw a couple of shorter ones in here to kind of round this out, because I have a couple of really long ones, some of them my favorites. The other ones that I have in here that are kind of longer ones that are my favorites. I do have the... Yeah, he's a creepy bird. I do actually have in here The Flesh That Hates, and I also have Human Refuted. These are two of my personal favorite ones that I felt like were really good examples for the absolute horrifying ones that I run into when I'm looking for new SCPs. We also have an SCP article from France and an SCP article too, actually, from Japan. So these have been translated into English by the wonderful translation team over on the International SCP Wiki. If you're ever looking for new SCPs to read, or maybe you want something different than what we usually see in the English Wiki, the translated wiki and the international wiki tend to have a very, very, very good grouping of translated works that I think are really amazing. I'd really recommend it if you get the chance. But those ones are going to be kind of towards the end. This next one here is Human Refuted. Just suggesting you should check out SCP-5000 and SCP-3000. I have read both of those, actually. I actually debated putting SCP-3000 on this list. But I mean, I wanted to, but I just didn't think that I was going to, I just didn't want to do it too much. like I like SCP-3000. I think it's a really interesting SCP, especially if you have like a fear. What's that fear like? It's like the subaquatic phobia or something like that. The fear of like something fear of big underwater things. Submechanophobia, I think. Yes. I think SCP-3000 is one that I would really classify under like really hitting hard on that submechanophobia vibe. Let's see here. All right. So we have here Humans Refuted, and this one is probably one of my favorites actually. It visually, from like a wording standpoint, I think that it's probably the one that I think is probably my favorite on this list. Submechanophobia. Yeah, really long ass name. SCP-3199. Its object class is Keter. It also has some additional information to go along with it here. We have Site Responsible, Site 114. The Site Director is B. Ewing. Research Head, B. Ewing. And an assigned task force of Omega-19. Special containment procedures are as follows. All live instances of SCP-3199 are to be contained on Site 114 within a modified Keter humanoid containment chamber, hereby referred to as primary containment, the walls of which should be coated with approximately 2 centimeters thick of acid-resistant steel. CCTV equipment is installed in the northeastern and southwestern corners. 2 meters of empty space are to be allocated between primary and secondary chamber. Hi, welcome in. How are you tonight? Secondary containment consists of suspending all live instances of SCP-3199 within a block of solid, transparent substance, currently a clear acrylic resin. This block is to be at a height of at least 3 meters. 1 armed security guard is to be stationed outside the primary containment at all times. An 8-digit passcode can be obtained from the current Site 114 director in order to bypass the primary containment. Secondary containment is to be regularly examined for damages. Movement and activity of any kind are to be noted, and the current Site 114 director is to be informed at the earliest possible convenience. A temporary recall procedure is detailed in Addendum 3199-03. Experiments involving the use of live SCP-3199 instances are strictly prohibited, without approval from at least 2 personnel of Level 4 security clearance or above. This has been stricken from the record, but for posterity's sake. As of 12/6/17, there are 4 live instances of SCP-3199 successfully contained. The current record shows there are 6 live instances of SCP-3199 successfully contained as of 2/18/2019. Hey Lena, welcome in! How are you doing tonight? How's everybody holding up tonight? Description. 3199 denotes a species of sapient Category 5 biological entities of currently undeterminable origin. Though tissue samples indicate the presence of silky chicken, chimpanzee, stoat mussel adder, and human DNA, they are typically hairless, stained with a thin layer of albumin-like excretion, I can't say that word, and stand at an average of 2.9 meters. Its weight averages 780 kilograms for a matured instance and 360 kilograms for a hatchling. Autopsies have determined that the cervical vertebrae of a mature SCP-3199 instance is composed of cartilage rather than bone. This enables the neck and throat to twist and dislocate around 340 degrees in either direction, aiding in their unusual reproductive cycle. A lot of things in there. They stuffed chicken. They stuffed a chicken in that man. Behold, a man, a featherless biped. Satchel. Welcome in, everybody. SCP-3199 are opportunistic hunters, engaging with live subjects within a range of 0.6 kilometers surrounding hatchlings that have not yet fully reached adolescence. Average speed recorded is around 25 kilometers per hour. Upon contact with a human or animal subjects, SCP-3199 will proceed to redacted, liquefying internal organs and bone structure. A suitable cadaver is then transferred within range of the closest hatchling. Amnestic purposes. Yeah, it's to help you sleep. That's amnestic purposes, right? It counts. I'm gonna make you forget your day. SCP-3199 produces large eggs of an off-white coloration and rubbery appearance. An egg will pass through the entity's digestive tract, esophagus, and eventually out via the mouth, followed by a viscous red substance. First thought to be a form of placenta, chemical breakdown has determined it to be a highly corrosive material. SCP-3199 shows extreme distress throughout the process, with personnel describing the sound as not dissimilar to a scream. A single SCP-3199 can bear a tremendous amount of resilience, maintaining its form and purpose even following continual subjection to extreme blunt force trauma, pressure exceeding 180,000 psi, high-precision blades, serrated and non-serrated, long-term acid exposure. With interesting facts like this, I don't think I'll sleep. You'll go to sleep, it's fine. I started doing these a long time ago because when I had originally started doing them, I used to do them a little bit more frequently, but lately I haven't been doing them because I haven't been really feeling like I can do a whole lot at night, you know? Recently I started doing them because people said that they used to listen to this to go to sleep, which I find amazing because I listen to stuff like this when I go to sleep or when I'm feeling like sad and I just want to like relax. You're gonna give me shower thoughts. Think about the weird humanoid made out of stoat and silky and human and adder vomiting out an egg in the shower. That'll be perfect. Don't worry about it. The application of plastic explosives was considered but quickly rejected by higher administration. Heat is a primary component in the growth and development of SCP-3199's eggs. See Addendum 3199-04. And Foundation researcher Piggy Blythe was particularly apprehensive towards the idea, believing it would almost certainly result in a second containment breach. What the fuck? Welcome to the show. SCP-3199 was issued Keter classification on 10/6/17 following a containment breach. SCP-3199's prior containment method, a sedated water bath, was disassembled and replaced with a revised containment procedure as listed above. Now we're getting into the addendums. Addendum 3199-A01 on blank 2017, 05 blank dispatched the following notice. For those of you who might not be familiar with SCP lore and terminology, 05 refers to the 05 Council, which are the individuals in charge of the SCP organization. They are the top brass of the SCP organization. All further experiments involving SCP-3199's eggs are strictly prohibited. Hatching periods have proven to be too unreliable to warrant extensive research, and as the consequences of a containment breach become more and more apparent, the O5 Council has unanimously decided to nip the situation at the bud. Until new and reliable information comes to light, all personnel found acting against protocol will be subject to standard zero-tolerance risk assessment training and a punishment determined on a case-by-case basis. We thank you for your continued cooperation. SCP-3199 was discovered in blank, Ireland, following witness reports of a bald creature crying like a banshee from within an undisclosed area of woodland. These reports resulted in the dispatchment of Mobile Task Force Omega-19, who arrived on the site with a total of 12 armed personnel. 2 personnel were lost in action, their internal organs and jaws having been almost entirely dissolved. During transport, SCP-3199 produced 2 offspring, resulting in the death of 6 further personnel. Am I like the only guy here that doesn't question the SCP Foundation every once in a while? I mean, you're supposed to question them. The thing about the SCP Foundation is they're not, like, always the good guys. That's something that we have to, like, actually keep in mind when we're reading this. Addendum 3199-A-02 on blank 2017, a thorough sweep of SCP-3199's initial recovery location was enacted in an attempt to uncover the creature's origin and purpose. Local reports suggested that the small remote residence in question had been abandoned for at least 2 decades. Surface Team Delta 029-E recovered several items of interest, including 1 bag of assorted thread and needle in various sizes and colors, approximately 13 chicken carcasses based on a collective halves and quarters, with precision incisions located on the underbelly, neck, and thigh. 6 of the carcasses had been plucked clean, with visible human teeth marks lining the bare areas in random intervals. Oh no, you're in hell. I can tell you that right now. Why do you think this place is called the Daemonette? You're in hell. This is where you are. Several containers, including water bottles and Tupperware boxes, including an unidentified watery paste. The paste was deep brown in color and, in the presence of oxygen, turned viscous and hard. An A5 notebook, blank brand, and heavily scratched what was determined to be human fingernails, the words "New Breed Manifesto" written on the front cover. 2 chicken feather quills. The notebook itself, that was kind of nice then, not gonna lie. I know, right? I try and keep the place really put together. The notebook itself contained 24 pages of standard lined paper written in a non-anomalous black ink. 19 of these pages consisted of a variety of cuboid patterns and crude childlike illustrations vaguely resembling SCP-3199. On the remaining 5 pages, large lines of writing detail the diary of an unnamed individual. Much of the script was illegible. One extract in particular, dated blank 6/1973, was written with notable higher clarity. If you're reading this, then lucky you. 400,004 from not, and it'll be warm and wet and warm. And the wonderful versatility of inferior human DNA will birth a better era. A stronger year, one where, illegible, and food and water will be nothing but things of the past, as we make and make and make more until ineligible. I am really haven't much time. That's why I envy you so much. You'll have all the time you need. Time will be a thing of the time will be and on, and death will be life. New life needs things to live. New life will be part of life from now on. Did you guys get all that? Did that come through clear? Did you understand? Did everybody take notes? Did everybody take their notes? Because there's going to be a pop quiz about what the meaning of life is after this. The final page consisted of various ink blots. 13 instances of the word life in inconsistent sizes, 2 instances of the word want it, want it, want it, and the lyrics of the English songwriter Frederick Worthy's Danny Boy in Old Gaelic script. The identity of the journal's author is still pending investigation. Yes, no, congratulations. His brain was fried too. Addendum 319903, Protocol 34-22-B. The following procedure is to occur in the event of Site-114 containment breach, in an effort to safely and immediately recontain live SCP-3199 instances. On-site personnel with Level 1 security clearance or above assume standard lockdown procedures and evacuate to Site-113 to await further instructions. Site-114 is to be flooded in its entirety by a clean distilled water treated with a dissolvable Class A sedative. Surface Team Tango 306-A will be dispatched immediately to retrieve any lingering instances of SCP-3199's eggs. Any living instances of SCP-3199 will be terminated on site, and the remaining eggs will be collected. All egg samples are to be transported temporary off-site containment within a stable water bath. Site-114 will be subsequently drained, and custodial staff will be dispatched throughout to clean and sanitize the grounds to a Green Zone Foundation standard. Personnel attempting to breach Site-114 before this inspection is complete will be apprehended and punished accordingly. Note: a number of personnel have expressed their skepticism regarding the scale of SCP-3199's containment breach protocol. To clarify, we have reason to believe that fluid is an excellent counter to SCP-3199's anonymous reproductive properties. It appears to enter an inert state in the presence of the liquid, regardless of thickness or clarity. The leading theory is as follows. SCP-3199 discerns the liquid around it to be occupied space. Regardless, I believe I speak for all of Site-114 when I say we're quite relieved to have a safe and consistent method of containment. Dr. Lewis on 12/5/2017. And the afterlife is a dream. Damn straight. Got so many ghosts up in here. I am actually going to skip this video transcript, but feel free. I'm going to put all of the SCPs that we read today in the description, so that way you guys can read them as well. The video transcript is just very, very long, and I do not feel like doing character voices tonight. Experiment logs. Addendum 319904, experiment logs. Let's see here. One egg sample from SCP-3199 is the subject. Method: subject relocated to a secure containment cell. Inside temperature of the cell was gradually increased at an average rate of 7 Celsius per minute. Subject was... Wait, where did you even get this transcript? Don't worry about it. I've done nothing wrong. Don't worry about it. My book is filled with secrets. Don't worry about it. After approximately 9 minutes, the eggs ruptured violently and produced a single hatchling. On-site personnel reacted swiftly to recontain the newborn instance. However, the excessive internal temperature appears to have impacted the physical maturity of the hatchling, and it reached adolescence at an accelerated rate of 40 seconds. You know, we don't have to worry about how I got my hands on the files that I'm reading. I feel like that's actually a really bad waste of time when we can be enjoying so many more files. The now adolescent hatchling produced 2 further instances of SCP-3199. Security response on site was swift, and all 3 instances were detained cleanly. All subsequent heating experiments involving SCP-3199's eggs have been postponed until further notice. Experiment 3199-E-02, cold exposure. 1 sample egg from SCP-3199. Method: subject submerged entirely in liquid nitrogen. Security remain on standby throughout the procedure. In light of prior experiments, the approximately 45 minutes of exposure, SCP-3199 had reached negative 190 degrees Celsius. Following 2 hours of exposure, the egg was removed and placed under a hydraulic press. Well, when you're a demon queen, you have connections. Oh, you think I'm a queen? Well... Now I just feel all special. Results. Hydraulic press peaked at pressure of around 9,000 psi. Cracks appeared approximately 30 minutes into exposure before the sample shattered. Yeah, worrying about it will only make it worse. Egg fragments were collected and furthermore pressed into a fine pulp. 0 traces of albumin or yolk were located. Complete incineration of the shell's remains proved successful in destroying the egg and its reproductive capabilities entirely. We're all queens here. For reals, though. Chemical analysis of shell. 10 grams of finely pressed eggshell pulp taken from an SCP-3199 egg. Detailed chemical breakdown shows traces of nacre, enamel, and currently unidentified carbon compounds. Microscope analysis suggests that the shell itself is composed of a tightly packed crystalline structure. Practical application of this material is pending administration approval. So, the ones that I have on this list are just buried, but you know. How'd you guys like our silly little bird friends? How'd you like our silly little bird friends that puke out eggs? Did everybody enjoy that? Did everybody take their notes? I hope so. I think that they're cool. I mean, they might eat you. There's a lot of birds on this list, actually. I'd cook them for breakfast. I don't know if you'd want to eat that. I don't know if you want to eat that. That sounds like a bad idea. Ooh, it's sippy time. HD exorcism. Wonderful. I'd cook them for breakfast. Damn. I can't believe we're gonna eat them. I bet they taste nasty though. If I'm able, they're digestible. Damn. Can't believe we're gonna eat them. Just don't eat the weird birds. Iris feeling EP. When am I not EP? I don't think I can think of a single time where I have not been EP. I'm continually EP. Always and forever. Object class 9 SCP 965. Object class Euclid. This SCP is kind of one of my worst nightmares. BTW, have you seen Duck Song 5? I did see Duck Song 5, yes. You sure you want to expose them all? Should be fine. Should be fine. Don't worry about it. It should be fine. This is actually one of my worst nightmares. It's not quite the level of alien nightmare that we've been experiencing with voices, but this is definitely up there. This is why I keep my blinds closed at night. SCP-965 is contained within a framed, ready-to-install window, henceforth referred to as SCP-965-1. This is top secret information. You might want to hide the stream afterwards. No. They can come get me if they want. Oh no. The SCP Foundation's gonna come get me. What are they gonna do? They can't get rid of me. I'm too cool. The Lord, we are all cooked. Composed of at least 6 panes of clear glass or similar material, measuring at least 15 centimeters by 30 centimeters. SCP-965-1 must in turn be kept within an environmentally controlled storage facility, capable of withstanding significant seismic disturbances. SCP-965-1 should be inspected at least once a week to check for degradation of materials. At all times, at least 2 similar framed windows must be present and within separate chambers, and in addition, padding and insulation, with no other window pane measuring greater than 14 centimeters wide or 29 centimeters tall between them and the current SCP-965-1. I don't know what the SCP Foundation would even do with me. Like, what would make me anomalous enough for them to give a shit? Well, SCP-965 is currently contained within SCP-965-1. Our inability to control its movements upon destruction of SCP-965-1 through means beyond proximity have prompted its elevation to Euclid status. Research into a more permanent means to contain SCP-965 is ongoing, and individual experiments may be carried out by Clearance Level 1 personnel after approval by a Level 3 administrative. This video is dangerous, Iris. Oh, shush. It's not dangerous. There's nothing dangerous about it. I didn't put any cognito hazards on here. I don't think. Don't worry about it. SCP-965 is a visual manifestation that occurs within framed windows. This manifestation takes the shape of a shadowed face with an apparently pale-skinned male that is looking through the window. The exact details shown vary, as does the direction of orientation as well as the age of the person. However, sufficient detail shows it is consistently to be the same being at different points in its life, between the approximate ages of 10 and 55. Research into an individual matching SCP-965 has thus far proven inconclusive. You sure? I'm so sure. I'm sure I didn't put a cognito hazard on this list. Probably. SCP-965 will only appear when the relative lighting on the outside of the window falls below 5 candelas, regardless of lighting on the inside. Such terms are possible because the face will only appear in a fully assembled window frame, though it does not need to be currently installed. Why does this SCP sound like Mahito? He does not sound like Mahito. He's not, and we've talked about Mahito before. We'll just leave Mahito out of this. He's not like Mahito. Thus far, SCP-965 has not shown any ability to intentionally move from one glass pane to another, even within the same installation. It is only able to attain a new manifestation point upon the destruction of the current SCP-965-1, at which point its new habitat will be reclassified as SCP-965-1. The face is visible from the outside portion of SCP-965-1, but despite its two-dimensional nature, it is described as looking away into the room. Can't believe you'd smash that man over Nanami. Listen. I make a lot of poor decisions in the characters that I like, and the only reason I don't want to bang Nanami is because as much as I really like Nanami, I think he's a great person. He's lovely. He's wonderful. I wish that he... I wish him the best. He's just too much of a dad. Like, I don't look at him and go, oh yeah, I could totally do that. No, I look at him and go, oh, you're so nice. I bet you make good cookies. Weakling. I am not a weakling. I am not. I am a well put together person. It takes a very strong person to admit that they like Mahito. You gotta admit, you gotta be brave. Initial effects caused by SCP-965 are reports of unease, nervousness, and low-grade paranoia. Red card, fuck you. These sensations will overcome anyone within visual range in the manifestation, even if obscured, such as by curtains. Based upon reports pertaining to residents at the houses in which SCP-965 was discovered, it can Encountering problems sleeping, experiments were conducted with D-Class personnel who were made to sleep in the chamber where SCP-965-1 was installed. An individual that is sleeping in any area visible to 965 will manifest itself invariably they will have dreams of a disturbing nature, usually involving being chased, attacked, tormented, etc., though without physical contact within the dream. We can go to McDonald's on the other. That's true. With repeated incidents involving the same subject, as few as 3 but never more than 10 dream cycles before onset. SCP-965 will begin manifesting with more explicit smile than normal. After this point, the subject will be complaining of heartburn and abdominal pain and will often begin to vomit blood or have blood in bodily waste. This is caused by the victim suffering ulcers and low-grade hemorrhaging throughout various locations in their gastrointestinal tract. The current hypothesis as to the cause of these afflictions is SCP-965's influence artificially accelerating the body's reaction to elevated stress levels and fears. What about Toji? Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. I can't deny that. I would. I know what I'm about. I know what I'm about. Like, I can't even say argue against it. Like, I know what I'm about. I know the sort of person I am. Best deadbeat dad. There you go. Subjects who advance to this stage have also reported continuing experiences of the facial manifestations in windows during dreams, as well as peripheral vision while they are awake, even after being removed from the vicinity of SCP-965. Most suffer from low-grade but lasting feelings of paranoia, as well as sensations that they are being watched or followed. Whether this is in fact some remnant of influence left behind or a standard symptom of distress following a traumatic intrusion by SCP-965 into their psyche is under investigation. SCP-965 has produced no noise to date, and there have been no reported instances of SCP-965 animating in a way once it appears. However, it is capable of disappearing and reappearing at will in different poses. SCP-965 also shows signs of sentience. It has been observed to show disappointment if it manifests into an empty room, irritation or anger when manifesting before someone that had broken a prior SCP-965-1, and one instance of visible fear when in the presence of Agent Blank, who had earlier participated in its retrieval. What about Sukuna? Yeah, I'd do it. I'm not talking about, like... When I say that, I mean, like, Sukuna. Geto, I would, but Geto is too busy, interested in his own boyfriend. I love Geto, I think he's incredible. I do really enjoy him, but he's too invested in his own boyfriend for me to try and steal that. I can't separate those two, they're a pair. I love my doomed yaoi. Addendum, Incident 965-1. On blank, routine investigation involving the destruction of SCP-965-1 confirmed that while in a multi-paned window may act as multiple holding zones. Sufficient damage to the overall structure disqualifies it as a possible replacement. Unfortunately, SCP-965 instead manifested in an adjacent experiment chamber's observational window. Due to the high standards of the Foundation equipment, this required the window's complete removal and destruction via tactical breaching charge. SCP-965 was viewed with significant hostile expression for 1 month after the incident. Listen. I can't defend that part of him, I really can't. But he's cute. I'd give him a smooch on the cheek. The Agent's Fun video will be taking psychic damage from the words here. Video can come take me. Actually, I don't think we've talked about Video before, have we, Toshi? If Video wants to come hit me up, they can. I know they got vampires hiding up in there. I'll come and take them. I can take all of them. Please? vampire. Spooky. Unredacted, Dr. Al requested a transfer away from the project involving SCP-965. She was reported as beginning to have visions of SCP-965 and experiencing feelings of paranoia similar to those affected during sleep, despite not having slept in the presence of SCP-965 herself. Dr. L was temporarily relieved of duties and assigned to psychological care. No other instances of SCP-965 affecting personnel who slept in its presence have been reported. What do you guys think about the face in the window? Cool, huh? Neat, huh? I'm looking at my open window, hoping that I'd never see that. I'm so sleepy. I shouldn't be this sleepy. What the heck? Okay. Now, time. I'm actually going to keep this one mostly short. There's a lot to read here. But I think there is... I might actually skip this one and recommend you guys listen to somebody else read this one. I was going to read the one for the Crooked Man, but I feel like if you have the chance, the Volgan would do it. It does a exceptionally better reading of this, and I don't know if I can do it justice. Mayo, SCP stories. I'm sleepy. When am I not sleepy? But also, like, this is so, like, relaxing. That at Heaven and Earth, he is alone, and the ugliest one. The ugly barnacle. He was so ugly, everybody died. Some of these, we're not going to read the entire things, so don't worry about that. Same here, yeah. Yeah. You just need more caffeine. Do you know how much caffeine I ingest on a daily basis? I can't do caffeine. I think the most caffeine I can do is, like, I can do pop pretty easy. But, I know there is that one time... I don't know if anybody here was actually around when I did it. But a while back, I actually sat down and I drank, like, get a Starbucks coffee. Damn. When I was, like, a while back, I had, I got, like, a strawberry Monster, because I was like, oh, I want to try a Monster energy drink. I've never had a Monster energy drink before. I was like, maybe I should try it. Everybody says it's good, so maybe I should try it. So I drank one, right? I drank, like, maybe, like, a fourth of the can. And then I was like, I'm gonna stream. I was like, I'm gonna stream right now. I'm gonna stream right now. I have so much energy. I'm gonna stream right now. So I did. I played Mustache. That is the most chaotic stream I've ever had in my entire life because the amount of caffeine coursing through my body caused my little baby rabbit heart to go boom. And then I exploded. I played Mustache nonstop for like 3 hours, and then I passed out. Immediately following, I crashed. I do not do... Me and energy drinks, not friends. Don't do that, it'll kill you. Me and energy drinks, not friends. Energy drinks bad for Iris. I can't be like all the other Jedi girlies. All the other Jedi girlies are able to drink Monster energy drinks. I can't do that shit. I'm so susceptible to caffeine. Also, by the size, you are more affected. True. I'm not even gonna argue with that. That is true. When you little, it courses through your body a lot more. There's just a lot more going on up there. So yeah, I was gonna read The Crooked Man, but I actually think that I'm gonna let this one slide. I'm gonna recommend you guys listen to the Volgan do this one because it's really good. He does such a fantastic job. But one that we are gonna read, and this is one of our longer ones. I'd rather you memorize things. Is going to be The Flesh That Hates. Are you guys familiar with this one? This is actually a really popular SCP. This is one of those ones that I see a lot of people bring up and they're like, oh, the scariest SCPs. I do find it fascinating, but I don't know if I would say it's like the scariest SCP in the world for me. We're not going to read all of it just because there's so many addendums and incident logs and field reports. But we're going to read a majority of it. Yeah! Flesh That Hates. It says certain weaknesses to high levels of caffeine. I know, right? I'm so put together. Me and caffeine just don't work out. Not friends. The Flesh That Hates? The Flesh That Hates. You'll see. Alright, everybody. It's SCP-610. SCP-610, Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. Due to the vast area of infection SCP-610 covers, containment is impossible. Isolation of the area has proved far more effective, and permission has been granted by the Russian government to establish a perimeter to keep people out of these areas under the guise of military operations. Should any organism displaying traits consistent with SCP-610 be sighted near this perimeter, then the established protocol requires it to be engaged at range with small arms until immobile, then dispatched using incendiary weapons and munitions from a great distance as possible. Any living thing coming in physical contact with an organism infected by SCP-610 is considered expendable and is to be immediately terminated and incinerated. Any persons coming within 3 meters of SCP-610 infected life are to immediately withdraw from the area, be isolated from the rest of their team, and subjected to medical examination using only remote techniques to determine if infection has occurred and appropriate steps taken upon that determination. At present, the known infection vectors for SCP-610's spread seems to be focused on physical contact. Drone movements within heavily infected areas have returned air samples containing minute particulates, which, when exposed to organic compound, will result in the spread of SCP-610. Hi, Jack, welcome in. The results of these particular tests have revealed that most require several days to manifest, if at all, with the exception of direct contact with exposed lung and liver tissue. These particular tests show a rapid rate of growth, which requires the incineration of the testing environment no more than 24 hours after initial exposure. Physical contact. With even a 2-hour mishap risking a compromised facility event. Given that this kind of rapid growth only occurs in organic material existing outside of the human body, this form of infection is currently considered a minor concern. These peculiarities have given rise to a series of questions regarding the possible origin of infection in conjunction with redacted. Containment protocol remains at a scorched earth policy. At this time, no concerns for transmission via water or air at infected parameters exist, barring situational changes in the field. Description: initial reports of SCP-610 came direct from the Russian government through undisclosed channels. These reports considered primarily of disappearances of farmers in the region and were not considered until local police, followed by regional police, and finally government dispatched agents all failed to report within a 72-hour period. A small military contingent was dispatched to the area and quickly withdrew at a point the Foundation was contacted and investigated. The area SCP-610 affects is close to Lake Baikal in southern Siberia. Areas of known infection are marked on the map provided by us here, which I cannot show on screen. That is redacted, and I do not wish for the SCP Foundation to come and attack me even further than they probably already will. Containment perimeters are marked in blue surrounding these infected areas, and as of present, no further locations have been identified. Incursions to the perimeter must be reported prior to conducting, confirmed during exploration, and debriefed on immediately following the return. Hey, bud! I'm doing well. Welcome into SCP night. They have your location. Yeah, they can come get me. SCP-610 appears to be a contagious skin disease at first, with symptoms including rash, itching, and increased skin sensitivity. Within 3 hours, the disease will cause blemishes resembling heavy scar tissue to form in the chest and arm areas, spreading to the legs and back within an additional hour, consuming the victim completely within 5 hours. Exposure to higher temperatures vastly decreases the time for contagion to spread, and complete infections have been recorded as occurring within as little as 5 minutes. After the completion of infection occurs, the victim's life functions will cease for approximately 3 minutes, after which they will restart at 2 to 3 times the activity rate of a normal human. Cluster bomb. Following this, scar tissue on the victims will start to move of its own accord and grow at a rapid rate. Normal human features start to disappear at this point under the infection, and the path of the mutation appears to be largely random. Subjects observed in this state of infection have been recorded as growing 3 or more limbs of a type such as arms or legs. The head may become misshapen, elongated, or widened out, and parts of the subject may split open, from which additional branches of flesh will grow. The duration of this stage of infection is unknown, and not all subjects appear to progress to the later stages. 682. Oh, he's just a puppy though. He's just a boy, just a baby. What a sweet baby. Under unknown conditions, an infected individual will cease moving and place itself in a location it deems suitable where it roots itself. The fleshy growth on the victim will begin to spread itself across all surrounding objects and consume them. Such objects do not spread the infection as living creatures do. However, and the effect of prolonged contact with these objects is recorded later in this document. It is assumed that this behavior is to create an area hospitable to continued growth of other infected. Observation of life infected by SCP-610 by staff is impossible. Those infected with the disease immediately seek out aid as a natural human impulse resulted in unintended infections. Those infected past the scar tissue phase actively and aggressively intent to infect anyone approaching them within an undefined area. Something tells me it doesn't want to do anything else but bite. Have you not seen that time that it made a friend? I love that. It needs to have more friends. I'll be its friend. I'll be the lizard's friend. It has been established that should an infected be capable of sight and observe an uninfected, it will proceed towards them. The infected has lost the ability to sight. A range of approximately 30 meters is considered safe. Observations of SCP-610 infected settlements have been established using artificial methods such as remote robots. The data returned from these observations, coupled with the openly aggressive nature of the infected to attempt to spread SCP-610, has resulted in a Keter classification. Oh, my nose. Ooh. However, so long as nothing is allowed to enter or leave the infected areas, it is considered a neutralized threat. Of concern are the cavernous areas beneath the infected settlements that were discovered during the exploration, and attempts to get research personnel into the area are underway. Bet 5 loonies you won't survive. Probably won't. My favorite entry in the catalog is Toaster or 462. Oh, I love Toaster. I love being Toaster. I am actually going to save the addendums for maybe another time, but I would recommend if you are curious to hear a little bit more and maybe the full story about 610. I would recommend checking out, again, I really like listening to the Wolgit when he does his readings, and I would really recommend check his one out for The Flesh That Hates, because it's just really, really good. Actually, almost at the end of my goodies. Wow. I'm a toaster. We are a toaster. I am going to take a... I want 682 to be my pet too, don't we all? I'm going to take a really quick breather. I'm going to step away for just a moment. When I come back, we'll finish this up. I only have about... how many entries left? These ones I'll take the chance to read through everything on them, because they're a little bit longer. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4 left. And they're a little bit longer, so we'll take a little bit more time with them. The Flesh That Hates is just a really long one that I just don't think we can get through all tonight. But I'm gonna click us over to a quick BRB. And we will be back in a minute. I'm gonna run, grab me some more sippy. And yeah. Can't believe you guys were gonna talk about D&D without me. How rude. Without me? You know I love D&D. Anyways. Emphasis on anything? You can't do anything in D&D. It's very easy to do anything. You gotta pass the time somehow. Damn, you're playing D&D without me? Chat, how rude. D&D goob. This goob. I'm used to being a DM. I'm mostly a player, but with the new Magnus Archives book that I got, I'm considering maybe trying my hand again at DMing. Oh, why are we doing this? Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why? What happened? Huh. That was weird. Anyway. D&D with chat 1. Too much to consider there. I'm scared of chat doing D&D. I can die and I hate being sick, brah. I understand. So, I'm gonna finish off our English-speaking SCPs, and then we'll run into our translations. The three that I have for translation's sake, I have one French, and then I have 2 Japanese ones. Don't die, Jack. Yeah, don't die. No die. No, not allowed. Alright. This one's gonna be kind of a shorter one for the most part, minus some more details here. What if this is going to be a really short one, and then we'll get into some longer ones. Got this, you're stronger than your sickness. Find out the funniest backlash I ever gave to my players was as a DM? Sure, tell me. Lay it on the table. I can be a menace to DMs. Big yawn. Big yawn. Big, huge, large yawn. I am actually curious, though. Can art? Oh, come on. Not that bad. I'm only a little bit bad. Wait, so every time they crack a smile, they take 1d6 damage. Oh, that's evil. That's very evil. Smiles their characters too OP. Damn. Shit. Alright. On with the show, everybody. Alright, everybody. This is SCP-747, Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. All instances of SCP-747 are to be contained in a room exactly 30 meters by 10 meters, with walls consisting of concrete 15 centimeters thick. All instances of SCP-747 are to be contained together in the same room. Hey Crow, welcome in. Sounds like kind of menace that makes drama interesting. So you good? Yeah. Used to say do instead of that. Balance your encounters differently. Just up your threats. The occurrence. Oh, in the occurrence, SCP-747 shows interest in any personnel procedure. SCP-747-B9 must be performed immediately. Under no circumstances shall any unusual actions of SCP-747 go unreported to personnel level 3 or higher. SCP-747 is allowed a total of 25 dolls, excluding any created under SCP-747's influence. Any personnel that begins to show visible signs of SCP-747's influence are to be contained separately in similar conditions. Should a containment breach occur, Task Force 747-B8 is to be alerted and proceed with recapture immediately. Only under extreme circumstances are personnel with clearance level 3 or higher to have any direct contact with SCP-747. Description: SCP-747 is a phenomenon involving the appearance of children in any manner of animal masks. All instances of SCP-747 have been successfully identified as deceased children of appearance congruent with the same time of death, excluding the masks. The commonality of the children, according to research, is that they all owned a doll precious to them in the time of death. Currently in containment, there are 7 instances of SCP-747. SCP-747-01 is a male, approximately 7 years of age, wearing a zebra mask and a set of blue pajamas. SCP-747-2 is a male, approximately 12 years of age, wearing a mouse mask and swimming trunks. SCP-747-03 is a female, approximately 10 years of age, wearing a pig mask and an outfit typical of private schooling. I have an idea for a new campaign, but I want to hear you guys' opinions. We'll talk about it in a minute. I'd be down for some D&D chat after we finish up our SCPs. SCP-747-4 is a male, approximately 14 years of age, wearing a rabbit mask and a winter coat. SCP-747-5 is a female, approximately 12 years of age, wearing a giraffe mask and a striped sari. SCP-747-06 is a female, approximately 5 years of age, wearing a goat mask and a bright pink dress typical of a beauty pageant. SCP-747-7 is a male, approximately 9 years of age, wearing a cat mask and blue overalls. SCP-747-07 was recovered with a note, which has since been separately stored. Each instance of SCP-747 cannot speak, nor do they seem to be aware of the humans unless taking particular interest in specific individuals. Mainly, SCP-747 shows interest in handmade dolls and each other. It is unknown if SCP-747 has sentience, though they appear to be aware of their surroundings and will avoid walking into objects. SCP-747 is able to move through obstacles no thicker than 10 centimeters with ease. SCP-747 is also semi-corporeal. Instances are able to lift and touch objects, but only for short periods of time before they tire. SCP-747 has the ability to transform humans into dolls over the course of approximately 21 days. To do this, instances of SCP-747 surround the human and hold hands before walking around the human for a period of 5 to 7 seconds. Afterwards, SCP-747 disperses and continues normal behavior. It is unknown which humans they choose to transform or why. SCP-747 occasionally shows interest in a person before attempting to transform them. The person is able to interrupt the process by moving away or avoiding SCP-747. However, most people describe a feeling of thoughtlessness or blankness when in contact with SCP-747, thereby making interruption difficult. Or stealing cheese. After interaction with SCP-747, there are no immediate symptoms. There is currently no cure or treatment for the conversion process. Within 15 minutes, the target will experience numbness of the tips of their extremities, similar to what is caused by the cold. Afterwards, over a period of approximately 21 days, the symptoms will progressively worsen. The process will accelerate under stress or panic to a minimum of 10 days. The conversion has been divided roughly into 3 stages. beginning from initial influence to transformation into a doll. If at any point a doll made from SCP-747's influence is destroyed, SCP-747 will show greater interest in humans until another human is targeted for replacement. Stages of transformation in detail. Stage 1. Loss of minor senses. The targeted human loses the sense of smell, hearing, and taste over a period of approximately 7 days. Their mental state appears stable. Subject may display worry about condition. Any signs of mental instability at this stage are signs of an accelerated transformation. SCP-747 will ignore the person as if they were normal. The target's skin color and eye color will progressively change in appearance to that of what they will become as a doll. Yeah, I'll read it in a bit. Any personnel that shows symptoms must be contained according to the containment procedure listed until late Stage 2, in which personnel are to be moved to SCP-747's containment chamber. Stage 2. Loss of major senses. Subject begins to lose their final 2 senses over a period of approximately 13 days. Their mental state will begin to destabilize due to a loss of major senses, first touch and then sight. This degeneration of senses is gradual, and victims have been found to initiate self-harm in attempts to feel something. SCP-747 will begin showing interest in the person, noticing their entrance into their containment actively, attempting to follow and interact with the subject. Should subject attempt to die in this stage, SCP-747 will immediately seek replacement with any human. Once the target human loses all of their senses, SCP-747 will immediately show great interest with the body. The skin will become ragged, similar to textile in both texture and appearance. The subject's eyes will begin to harden into buttons. Dissections have revealed that during this process, the victim's organs will begin to convert into stuffing of various materials, including but not limited to cotton, polyester. Through the use of EEG, it has been noted that the target is still conscious throughout this process. Subject 3. Full transformation. Subject transforms fully into a doll within 24 hours. At this point, SCP-747 will treat them as any other doll. See Document 747-B. The dolls produced through SCP-747's influence are to be contained within SCP-747's containment room and removed only for examination and repair. Yes. There is a footnote associated with this. That footnote in particular is listed as footnote 1 in relation to SCP-747-7. The note that came with it, blue crayon, is written in neat cursive, contains a short story involving a mother looking for her son in an unspecified afterlife. It is notable that the mother of the entity holding the note had died in childbirth. Investigations to its source are ongoing. Double barrel shotgun to deal with those dolls. Damn. So mean to the dolls. The dolls have been so polite. They just want friend. Alright. So, here we are to our translated source. This one is from the French SCP Wiki, which has some really interesting stuff on it as well. If you happen to get the chance to check it out, I would recommend it. I highly recommend the French and German SCP Wikis, as I feel like they have a really good variety in them. I do think that you'd probably find a lot of really good stuff. I'm going to put the dolls up for adoption. Don't separate them. They're meant to stay together. As well as the Japanese wiki also has some really good stuff. I ain't want to become a doll. If you just keep moving, they're not going to be able to circle you. This one is called SCP-006-FR. aka garage sale. Damn. SCP-006-FR, threat level orange, object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. SCP-006-FR is to be contained within SCP-006-01-FR under the supervision of Site Aleph. 3 D-Class personnel must remain inside of SCP-006-1-FR at all times to ensure that the metal shutter located at the entrance of SCP-006-01-FR stays open. 6 armed guards must be present at all time outside of SCP-006-1-FR. All personnel who wish to interact with 006-FR or enter 006-01-FR must be vegetarian. Did I mention this one's called the Butcher? SCP-006-FR appears to be a typical male human butcher of Eurasian descent with a height of about 1.8 meters and a weight of 112 kilograms. The subject only speaks Russian. SCP-006-FR wears a bloodstained cooking apron, butcher's fur foot hat, checkered shirt, and beige pants. 98% of the time, it has a belt on it which holds many miscellaneous kitchen utensils such as knives and choppers. SCP-006-FR is not normally aggressive, but it has the physical strength and resistance equal to 5 times that of a normal human of the same weight and height. In addition, it can also instantly teleport to SCP-006-01-FR, as well as teleport any butcher utensil present inside of SCP-006-01-FR into its possession. SCP-006-01-FR is a common oblong-shaped butcher's shop, with dimensions of 5 meters by 10 meters by 2.75 meters. There are 2 rooms inside of SCP-006-01-FR. The first room is located directly after the entrance. It is 5 meters in length and 7 meters in width. It includes a normal counter expected of a butcher's shop, as well as an entrance to the second room, located behind the counter. The second room is a freezer, which is 5 meters by 3 meters. After teleporting, SCP-006-01-FR will appear in either of the 2 rooms. The choices of location to which it teleports seems random, but it has been noted each locale's population is of similar density. SCP-006-FR can only teleport if the metal shutter on the entrance of SCP-006-01-FR is closed. The greatest recorded distance of 006-01-FR teleportation is redacted kilometers. The first reported occurrence of SCP-006-01-FR was in the 1940s, but it was not contained until 1996, when it localized before SCP-006-FR could teleport it. A recovery unit was dispatched and successfully destroyed all buildings around SCP-006-01-FR before towing the exceptionally heavy building back to Site Aleph. There are conditions to teleportation, but you can't tell the butcher that. SCP-006-FR only appears outside of SCP-006-01-FR if he's attacked inside. SCP-006-01-FR is... If this occurs, then it will proceed to follow the aggressor until they are either dead or outside of the 150-meter radius around SCP-006-01-FR. When the entity finishes hunting or can no longer hunt the aggressor, it will wrap itself into the freezer of SCP-006-01-FR. If SCP-006-FR is wounded heavily enough by the aggressors, then it will stop hunting immediately and teleport itself into the freezer, where he will stay for 1 day. This seems to be a recovery mechanism as it allows for SCP-006-FR to heal all wounds which it may have sustained. SCP-006-FR is unable to perform any other activity while it is recovering. Even a potential non-vegetarian customer will not cause it to move from the freezer. Normally, the entity will stay in the freezer and keep its doors closed. If a kind of like the intercom on an airplane. That's a deep... I've never heard that before. Thank you. Thank you, Ball. hilarious though. I've never heard that before. Oh my gosh, she's threw me off my groove. Hi Mondays, welcome in. Normally the entity will stay in the freezer and keep its doors closed. If a vegetarian enters into SCP-00601-FR, then the entity will stay passive and nothing will happen. When a non-vegetarian human enters SCP-00601, however, it will enter in active phase, where it will get out and reserve to treat the subject in SCP-006-FR as a customer. Sorry, I'm trying to like... Why them? It's only when you're reading because it's like a script. Yeah, no, I get like that one. That's my just natural reading voice when I'm reading. Normally when I'm talking, it's a lot different. Kind of like my customer service rates. Please secure your SCP to its seatbelt and keep him out of other people's reach while the seatbelt light is on. There are exits located at either side of the plane. Please feel free to reach the nearest D-Class personnel to ensure that you are able to exit safely. In the event of an oncoming attack by another agency, please buckle your seatbelts and wait for a member of staff to assist you. Oh, editing what? Oh, Mondays, what you editing? The subject will always ask SCP-006-FR to give him his favorite piece of meat. The entity will then enter the freezer and come back with a package. The package will contain the subject's favorite meat, but while he's in reserve, SCP-006-FR will somehow take meat of a similar cut from the subject. Oh my god, career opportunity. Despite this, the subject will stay alive and attempt to go home with the package. Even if the piece SCP-006-FR took would usually cause a fatal or immobilizing wound. One instance includes a D-Class personnel who started crawling back to his cell after he ordered pig feet. Stream can get a live iris reaction. I'll take a live iris reaction. You can send that to me. What you got for me, bud? I'm patiently waiting. After reaching its destination, the subjects will start to consume the uncooked packaged meat and then immediately expire upon finishing it. I'm very curious what you've got here, Mondays. Give it to me. Pass it along. The research team, led by Dr. Grimm, is studying if SCP-006-FR uses specific waves to control the subject or if its faculty is purely psychic. Electroencephalograms are made on subjects while they are under the influence of SCP-006-FR. Showed that part of the brain responsible for decision-making was heavily damaged, sometimes to the point where it resembled a lobotomy. Let me see this. Oh my god. Mondays. Is this the project you told me about? Is that what's this is? Is this your new friend? Is that... Need lobotomy? Need lobotomy! Also, Montauk. Oh gosh. I haven't had the chance to actually sit down and... I don't think I've actually had the chance to sit down and read anything with Montauk on stream. I don't think I'd want to read that on stream, actually. I don't think that's one that's stream appropriate. Wonderful. Friend is strong and is a strong and accurate word. I'm gonna call him that. That's how it's gonna be. The first theory is difficult to demonstrate, as applying an electroencephalogram onto the entity would be probably impossible, but the idea has not yet been discarded. All attempts to force open the freezer doors or damage it using vegetarian personnel have failed. All attempts to enter and reserve using vegetarian personnel while SCP-006-FR was in an active state have not only failed, but have also enraged SCP-006-FR further. Somebody please invite me to the Discord because the link isn't working. There's no way the link isn't working. Absolutely no way. What? Yes, we do have a Discord. Feel free to join in. I'll actually go find it real quick while we've got a little bit of a breather, but like, no, feel free to join the Discord. Does you have a pipe in the back? I don't know, maybe. I'm kind of surprised. Should be working. That's the thing. I can get it open. You gonna get it open? Keep saying to me the link is invalid. That is so weird. Let me pull it up here and I'll just post it in chat real quick. So that way you guys can feel free to join in. Where are you? I know you're in here somewhere. Eden. Here we go. Here. That should be the correct link for anybody who is interested in joining us on the Discord. Feel free to join us there. In-depth research has found that documents from the Battle of Stalingrad, which shows the dead body of a person who looks similar to that of SCP-006-FR, and reports from the Russian High Command. See Addenda 01006. On redacted date. I got in just fine. Yeah, we're all getting just fine. Should be all good. An experiment with the purpose of observing and the reserve of SCP-006-01-FR began. A non-vegetarian D-Class engaged with SCP-006-FR, while two other vegetarian D-Class sought to gain entry into the reserve. SCP-006-FR became enraged when the two vegetarian D-Class personnel attempted to enter the reserve as he left. SCP-006-FR then wrapped his chopper in his right hand and redacted, causing the death of all D-Class personnel inside the shop. A containment breach was avoided due to the intervention of on-site armed guards, who lured SCP-006-FR outside of the shop by provoking it with armed fire and engaging its hunt phase. The guards successfully harmed SCP-006-FR enough to force it into a recovery state, and it warped back into the reserve. Containment was then re-established, and SCP-006-FR was sustained again. SCP-006-FR no longer exhibited signs of any anger after recovery, and when the Foundation sought to determine the method of SCP-006-FR's removal of body parts from recent casualties. There were a total of 15 casualties from this experiment, 3 D-Class personnel and 12 armed guards. Further attempts to force or otherwise enter into the reserve of SCP-006-01-FR have been forbidden for now by the Director of Site ALIF. Let's see here. saying expired and invalid. Am I not meant to join the great civilization? That's insane because it just worked. I don't have a way to give you something like additional. Could you give me your Discord and I can like check and see if maybe there's something additional? But I don't think there's any issues. Addenda 01006FR. This is an article extracted from the popular Russian newspaper, the Pravda. I said that in Spanish. Pravda. Dated 1942, as found by Dr. Caroline, a traitor to Mother Russia, found and arrested. Members of the PCUS discovered a group of mangled soldier corpses in an altar to a heathen god in the reserve of blank, a well-known Stalingrad butcher. Yesterday, as they were following a lead on suspicious missing persons from the glorious Red Army. The news has spread quickly thanks to the glorious Russian people, and as a result, the traitor has been executed in the reserve of his own butcher shop. Commissar Makarov, who was involved in the case, was asked his thoughts later and commented, "This was a young man who was lost after the death of his parents. The enemy took advantage of this and used him against Mother Russia. Those altars dedicated to false divinities similar to the ones we found in Blank's butcher shop are used to worship in Thul's society, which Hitler is a member of himself. I cannot help but feel disgust at the cowardice of those fascist dogs." The butcher shop was later burned with his body inside. I'm honestly kind of surprised. As far as I'm aware, everybody should be in. Unless there's like something. Addenda 02006FR. This document is from the personal diary of Commissar Makarov, who was at the time the assistant of Messing, a Polish medium in the service of the Red Army's paranormal team. It wasn't the Thule Society who created this thing, nor was it Hitler's doing. It was us. Messing said he saw in his dreams a way to create the ultimate soldier, nearly immortal, who could bend space itself and be totally devoted to his cause, to his job, to his work. For it to work, though, we need a subject to die in a very specific way. We needed to be sure the work we gave him will be of the utmost importance to him, because according to Messing, this would be the only priority of what we will create. He had seen the rituals, how to build the altar, and now we only needed to find the right subject. We needed someone lonely and desperate enough to accept going through a crazy ritual, even if it was coming from the Mother Russia. We searched for people who had lost their entire family from Operation Barbarossa, and after a lot of rejections, we found Blank, the perfect one. I want to keep watching, but I gotta sleep. Get some rest, Ostro. Sleep, sleep, Bo. His parents had lived in one of the first cities to fall after Hitler started his attack. His parents owned a local butcher shop, and when the meat became rare and missing, cannibalism started to appear. And those butchers were the apostles of this. All of them died. The young Blank was the only one who survived, and was able to successfully reach Stalingrad. Let me see. I'll check on it after stream. I'll check on it after stream, Malachi. Once the famine showed up again, however, he did again what his parents did. Cannibalism. It was at this moment we went to him and made a deal. We would forget his strange dinners and would give him revenge for the Wehrmacht if he joined us. He agreed. We made him hate the Nazis more than he ever did before. We showed him how their thirst for consummation led them to invade us, and how their invasion led to the mother party to famine, without ever telling him a word about his necessary death in the process. We did the rituals in his butcher shop, reserve, which we believe would be perfect cover for the Red Army if this thing turned to shit. We did what we were supposed to do. But in the last seconds of his life, the subject understood what was going to happen to him next. And this is where everything turned to shit. The moment the body of Blank touched the ground, the reserve started to move, like an earthquake. Space began to bend, and then we failed to contain him. And as we really didn't want him to reach the outside, we set the shop on fire. Next day, the shop had just disappeared. There were no ashes, no ruins, even an empty space between the two shops where it had been located. It was as if it had never existed. Hi, Danny! God only knows where he is now, but his hate does not stop with the Nazis or countries. We disappointed him. Mother Russia disappointed him. Hitler disappointed him. Humanity disappointed him. Before he corrupted Data, heard him say something about consummation society and everything it meant about humanity. We created a monster, the perfect weapon. He was supposed to have been turning into a killing machine, pulling between duty and pure hatred. And then I hoped that although he failed his experiment, Messing was right. I hope his last work, the one about to make humanity aware of what it was doing to itself, would never leave his butcher shop. Because if it does, God forgive us all. She's releasing private SCP now from the French branch. The French don't care. Tomislav Makarov was killed just days after writing this. Messing went missing after the Battle of Stalingrad. The few researcher assistants who had been working on the project were likely killed in the events following the death. Taking notes of these facts and covering the research which may have led to the rituals and subsequent creation of SCP-006-FR are impossible. Research regarding Messing is ongoing. Is she gonna get contained? They can't contain me. I'm too cool. Alright, everybody. We're down to our last two, and as far as I'm aware, I think these last two, from what I read, are actually interconnected, which is my favorite kind of SCP. A couple of agent branches watching this video. I hope they come over here and get me, because if they put me in a room and give me 3 square meals a day, I'd be a very happy little camper. They can give me some crayons, I'll color. I don't care. Alright, so this is from the... Puts you in a flash drive. No! No! I've tried deleting her off my hard drive. She just keeps coming back. Yeah, I'm built different. Simply built different. You know? Access without putting into operation protocol book burning will immediately activate an automatic termination program. Please leave swiftly upon following access completion. Personnel responding to large-scale SCP-444-JP events under protocol book burning, please stand by. I'll get Mr. Butt to watch you personally. Well, I mean, if it's what has to be done, I mean, that's what has to be done. I'm gonna be the most annoying person to watch and contain it. Anyways, everybody, this one is called SCP-444-JP. I guess you could actually read that as SCP-JP. I guess maybe a more correct pronunciation would be yon yon yon. Yon yon yon. Think she needs a lawyer? I don't need a lawyer. I've done nothing wrong, nothing illegal. Access initiated. Security has been lifted. Operation 444 outbreak confirmed. Protocol book burning confirmed. Emergency disclosure database accessed. Completed. Displaying SCP-444-JP information. Thank you and see you. I want to read a statement or SCP document about Iris now. 4. Death. Yeah. Well, the fun thing about 4 is you can read it 2 different ways. You can either read it as she, which is similar to shine, or you can read it as ion, which is the more acceptable and popular term because bad luck and all that jazz. You don't want to walk around saying death. It's also why there's so much imagery in Soul Eater. What is it? It's 46. I think it's like, I always forget the Shinigami number. But this SCP in particular is a little bit interesting, and I'm actually going to put this SCP on screen. Yes, yes. It's going to be on screen for you guys to look at while I set this up. You guys get to 750. You guys get to experience this too. Is this one's neat? Isn't 4 unlucky in Japan? Hi everybody. You guys don't get to be here for a second. Yeah, 4242564. Shini. Yeah, 4. Shini. I was number 3. There's 4. Shini Goroshi. Yep. Thank you. Okay. Everybody, here's our next installment. SCP-444-JP. This has all been translated, by the way, by the wonderful translation team over at the SCP International Wiki. This was originally in Japanese, but they have since translated it to be fully in English so we can read it as well. Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedure. All media that depicts SCP-444-JP must be altered in order to prevent SCP-444-JP from being read aloud. Any person who has read SCP-444-JP must be given Class B amnestic treatment. Furthermore, a dedicated duty of confidentiality is established for researchers associated with SCP-444-JP and must always undergo Class B amnestic treatment in case of transfer from SCP-444-JP research to a different department. In order to avoid extensive leak and spread of SCP-444-JP, SCP-444-JP information is only handled within Site-8141. Description: SCP-444-JP is a phrase in the form of a writing format that generates specific hallucinations or simulations. When these words are read aloud and properly vocalized, the person who reads them is always trapped in an illusory world. Several looping events being simulated inside this illusory world. Below is a brief order of listed events the subject is exposed to inside the illusory world. I'm an SCP. I'm SCP-infinity. Subjects find themselves in the illusory world. The illusory world is composed of a red wasteland extending into the horizon in all directions, and grassy sky depicted as redder than the sunset. The feel of the field, grass, and sky feel real in the illusion, and all of the subject's consciousness and feelings in reality do not reflect on the illusory world. 2. 4 to 7 minutes after the subject's consciousness fully enters the illusory world, the subject will realize they are able to fly due to their body becoming that of a bird. Subjects are convinced that they were able to fly but could not explain a reason why. The subjects desire to fly across and then soar through the illusory world sky. At this time, the subject's body in reality is at its calmest. Hey Sora, welcome in. 4. 2 to 3 minutes after the flight, the subject testifies that a massive red bird is approaching them, and they begin feeling fear of the bird. Subject's body in reality increases physiological activity. 5. The massive red bird begins preying on the subject, who complains of an immense fear of dying, a real physical pain. Subject's body in reality reaches its physical peak and begins indiscriminately attacking anyone near it. 6. The subject dies inside the illusory world. All emotional responses cease and the subject falls into a coma-like state for 3 minutes. 7. The cycle goes back to point 1. That time, all memories but certain fragments reset. The subject is able to escape from the illusion if they write down SCP-444-JP with their physical body. Only when written down, SCP-444-JP can be conscious and actions of the subject in the illusory world affect their physical body. However, due to the nature of the illusory world, several weeks need to pass for the subject to think of writing down SCP-444-JP. In this case, the subject remembers the memory fragments with each loop, and with these memories, the subject intuitively learns they can free themselves from fear of death and pain by writing down SCP-444-JP. Subjects who escape from the illusory world retain the detailed memories of all loops lived inside the illusory world. However, due to mental illness outbreak caused by these memories and the inability to testify caused by them, no further investigation into the illusory world is to be conducted. And we have some interesting additional notes here. Up at the top, we have ride the red stork, hit the field, the scarlet bird, the grass at its peak extends what isn't yet there. At the bottom here, we have crimson willow plumage, the scarlet bird eats the tooth and the sleep, stretch out your feathers. And I can't read that one to the side very well. I will attempt that maybe at another point. Let me grab the next one. We are not done. This one actually has several pages like this. So everybody gets to experience it. Welcome. All right. Addendum 1. SCP-444-JP was discovered in blank city, blank prefecture, found scribbled on a piece of torn paper inside an overrun Japanese organism improvement and creation laboratory facility. By the time of the raid, the facility was already in ruins, suggesting it had already been abandoned by the time the Foundation captured the location. The anomalous nature first manifested when an agent discovered the note and read it aloud. The agent was immediately quarantined and was later able to escape the illusory world, receiving B-class amnestic treatment and returning to work. Almost the entire facility had been destroyed, although some surviving data was recovered, being partially restored. SCP-444-JP was not created by the Japan. Why did I say Japan like that? Not created by the Japan Organism Improvement and Creation Laboratory, but rather a list of fragmented words were discovered. These later modified/improved into a writing format in order to utilize their nature for the creation of another object. The reason behind the facility's abandonment is not known. Addendum 2. On blank, the agent who discovered SCP-444-JP yelled, Scarlet Bird, don't rise yet," in the middle of work, and fired his gun in succession 8 times. This incident killed 4 people and seriously injured 2. The agent had been performing their duty without incident for 5 months since 444-JP influence, and no abnormalities had been observed during their periodic psychiatric examinations prior to the event. Post-custody interrogation revealed remarkable intelligence regression and severe obsessive-compulsive disorder. At the same time, the previous suspended memories had been fully restored. Because none of these signs had been observed previously, it is believed that the intelligence regression and obsessive-compulsive disorder rapidly advanced due to the sudden memory restoration. The relation between this event and SCP-444-JP is currently being investigated. If we look up here, not the tilted arrow falls, the scarlet bird edits the eats the nine folks sound all stretch out your hooks. Everything was good while their plan was working, but they failed. Addendum 3. There was riots. They experimented too much. It threatened and spread and took control. Those who only knew of SCP-444-JP, it eats people, it eats people's minds. Words, writing, voices are hunted by it. Dish and bait without knowing too much. It grew, it spread, it mixed without. It's all our blood. It devoured everyone. Don't feed it, keep it locked. It's not worth it. Don't feed it, don't know, lock it up. Right. And now that that is over with, we have an additional addendum that is actually in the written text on the SCP wiki. So we will get rid of our beautiful little visual graphic here and go back to normal. All SCP-444-JP subjects, previous subjects people killed by them, and paper media with their blood on it. The document above included are all classified as SCP-444-JP-1. All SCP-444-JP-1 instances are 130 meters below Sector 8137, stored in a special containment capsule following the case that forced the abandonment of Site-8141. SCP-444-JP information is to be hidden from all employees involved in transferring containment, and access to this file has been restricted even to Clearance Level 5 personnel. Due to the priority of the information's of the information's confidentiality and to the pointlessness of it, no object class has been assigned to it. Whether it's safe, Euclid, or Keter doesn't change what we must do. Site-8141 has been given to another facility, and the events mentioned above are thoroughly concealed, including large-scale memory treatment to the Foundation staff. Furthermore, all information regarding SCP-444-JP has been destroyed. I'm the one who carried it out. As I write this, there is only one person who knows about SCP-444-JP, and there will soon be none. And so, all that remains is two mindless systems, this page and the emergency protocol book burning. I like to think I've done enough. On the other hand, if this document is being read, it means it's too late. We were unable to understand what kind of event SCP-444-JP would ultimately cause, so I won't be able to show you how to corner it, or an effective way to deal with it. But there is one thing that is absolutely certain. That thing, the bird of perception, it must have already activated or materialized. I guess we and you are too late. The events above have already spread it enough, I suppose. But even then, it's too late. There must be something we can do about it. At least, you now have a copy from when it was still small. Don't repeat our mistake. Everyone else has failed when it comes down to SCP-444-JP. SCP-444-JP. Interesting, isn't it? Let's see here. This was actually written, I believe, by the same person who's going to be reading the next one. Or gonna be part of the next one. I'm just gonna make sure of it real quick. I want to say that there is some sort of connection. And this one's actually probably the longest one that we have here. Let me see. I want to say yes. This is the one that I was looking for. Okay, let's see here. All right, this one's gonna be a long one, everybody. So strap in. This is gonna be our last one for the evening. This is SCP-2844-JP. Are you guys ready? Containment class, Euclid. Disruption class, Lamb. Risk class, Caution. It's on a level 3 confidentiality. Note, this report has been revised with the use of level-specific definitions. Viewing latest revisions requires the appropriate clearance token. As a provisional measure, stable revision reports are only given out as necessary. The RISA archiving team will provide you with appropriate means of authentication. Hi, Ty. Welcome in. It's good to see you. Social containment procedures. Propagation's effects of active SCP-2844-JP are to be confirmed in current affected individuals. A series of supernatural and paranormal phenomena that occur in the state of SCP-2844-JP is comprehensively designated as Dread State events. Due to the frequency and magnitude of Dread State, containment has been discontinued due to the risk of commotion in the general public, with only a portion of events under Foundation surveillance to fundamentally free those affected by SCP-2844-JP. Foundation's internal departments are conducting research in all possible fields. How you doing, Ty? You holding up good? You doing well? Site-17 will continue to monitor all media, literature, and public knowledge through rep callers, undercover assets, and all other mediums. In all cases, the fact that SCP-24JP is an anomaly must be prevented from leaking out into the outside world. Site-17 main contacts. Director Tilda Moose, Site-17 co-director. Director Virgil Verrier, Site-17 co-director. Dr. Placeholder, McDoctorate, Director of Exophysics Department. Dr. Bedrock Enders, Site-17 Containment Specialist. Dr. Jamie Marlowe, Exophysics Department Lead Researcher. And Dr. Simon Glass, Psychological Inspection and Evaluation Team. Description: SCP-2844-JP is an unidentified memetic hazard that propagates over an unspecified area. I lied when I said that there were no cognito hazards. Strap in, kids. SCP-2844-JP is an abstract, multi-memetic complex whose exact nature is extremely difficult to determine. Obligations instead of actually trying to sleep. Get some rest! Rest up! You need sleep to survive. Most characteristic meme contained within SCP-2844 is one archetypal emotional sensibility, better known as an emotion closely resembling fear. The exact requirements of SCP-2844-JP's exposure on human beings is unclear. Entities exposed to 2844-JP manifest several psychological high brain functions and abnormalities, with many dying of unknown causes. Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm having a good night. SCP-2844-JP is reflected on people's mental states under various circumstances. I always miss Iris. Oh, I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate everybody who's come in tonight. I know this isn't exactly our normal show, but you know. It can be appreciated as physical responses such as increased heart rate, shivering, and sweating. Exposed people who lose vital signs acquire newer abnormalities. Their bodies remain as designated SCP-2844-JPA and become targets of the Foundation's current research and quarantine efforts. The abnormalities, SCP-2844-JPA, newly acquired, is spread of the aforementioned SCP-2844-JP's highly advanced cognito hazard. SCP-2844-JPA by itself is a simple vector, and by seeing, touching, or recognizing the subject, the target is exposed to SCP-2844-JP. SCP-2844-JP is a contagious memetic hazard that spreads through SCP-2844-JPA, their abnormality making it difficult to dispose through man-made powered means. Currently, the main handlers are artificially intelligent conscripts with newly discovered SCP-2844-JPA instances immediately disposed through incineration. No definite treatment to remove memetic hazards from SCP-2844-JPA has been established. The existence of SCP-2844-JP has remained unexplained for a long time, with the spread of the fatal SCP-2844-JP outbreak in 2021, the first Dread State event, and its accompanying societal chaos. The Foundation was forced to neutralize SCP-2844-JP. Access token. Addendum 1-2844-JP from Esophysics. Culture is a series of imitations. The evolution of all living things ultimately consists of a chain of copying. In evolutionary biology, this is what is known as genes. The process of reproduction, propagation, and mutation exists, and a similar chain occurs culturally, with this transmission of cultural information being comprehensive and known as a meme. In modern memetics, a meme is a small unit of culture, transmitting from brain to brain, receiving, diffusing, and transmitting our cognition. For example, the Western-style clothes you're wearing today are a cultural meme. And brushing your teeth in the morning is a customary meme. The main goal of conceptual memes is self-reproduction. Oh god, I gotta sit up. Oof. The essence of a meme being extremely selfish. Our mentality, arts, cultures, habits, all mediums of self-replication are of selfish memes. The famous Mona Lisa exists because it's useful for self-replication of memes related to artistic culture, and the majority of I'm a little sick. Yeah, I lied. It's all cognito hazards. Oops, all cognito hazards. Still majorly contributes to artistic culture today. What matters is that memes do not contribute to our interest of survival and knowledge acquisition, but rather are always searching for the most efficient way they can self-replicate. Yes, showering is a meme. In the early stages, memes prevailed and propagated based on 4 fundamental impulses: fight, flight, appetite, and reproduction. No specific definitions exist, but these are 4 fundamentals. Memes containing these 4 components propagate much faster than other memes. This is memetic evolution. These highly fit memes have survived to the present day and continue to replicate. Our culture depends on memes. But memes do not necessarily contribute to our survival. If a meme has a chance of continuing in the long term, they will prioritize their own replication. In addition to the previously mentioned impulses, memes instinctively avoid danger. Natural selection has developed a preference for safety, which brought along certain defined emotions. There is a note here from Placeholder McDoctorate. Dr. Placeholder McDoctorate is the head of the Pataphysics Department, initially employed in the IT department. He was promoted to the department head in 1986, following remarkable work in containing SCP-5241. Following his promotion to site director, he personally requested the transfer to the Pataphysics Department and was promoted head of the department due to his achievements in the field of theoretical pataphysics, and founded the Archetypical Division. At around time, his name was retroactively abstracted by SCP integer. This is where I think this one's gonna get interesting. Addendum 2, JP-2844, Containment Submittal. Dr. McDoctory face for reals though. The Foundation was not aware of the abnormality in SCP-2844-JP until the first Dread State event occurred in 2021. Specifically, the event known as Dread State refers to an undetermined civilian death across all Japan. While the details on the deaths of those involved remain unclear, it is believed that the genesis of the event was a result of SCP-2844-JP outbreak in a specific area. The case was originally handed to the Foundation's 81st jurisdiction, but when Dread State became a worldwide occurrence, Site-17 took over overall management of the areas. The first victim, now known as SCP-2844 JP-A1, Mr. Sato Tomohiko, lived in Shimane Prefecture, and recovered location history shows that he moved to Saitama Prefecture in 2021, 10/9. Web activity of the mobile phone of the victim possessed shows an access to forum sites with the goal of trespassing into haunted locations with a group of people. The reference location is an abandoned house with no records and is currently being investigated. There's an entire transcript here, but I most likely will not be reading it because it is very, very long, and I would recommend you guys do some reading on your own too. Attempts to conceal the series of events failed in media coverage and reports on the same day. Before the incident was discovered, every person involved in the forum site had already died. Said information had been spread by the deceased family and other parties. Then the SCP-2844 JP cognito hazard spread nationwide. Although the Foundation was successful in controlling information underneath the veil of secrecy, it is believed that the majority of information transmitted up until that point became vectors of SCP-2844 JP, believed to have spread to a large, unspecified number of people. About a week after the incident, a chain of unspecified events occurred all over the country. The Foundation designated this matter as the initial Dread State event and decided to better determine a special and perfect containment for SCP-2844 JP. It's extremely difficult to remember all concepts regarding SCP-2844 JP. Being aware of the nature of SCP-2844 JP, even a small portion of it, means immediate exposure to 2844 JP. In initial stages of exposure, victims are able to maintain normal life activities, but with time they develop symptoms similar to an antegrade. I always say this wrong. Antegrade amnesia. This is particularly true of rapid and progressing information on SCP-2844 JP's nature, which makes it difficult to retain memories of an object for more than an hour, even when new information is obtained. Accompanying the symptoms progression, the ability to perceive surrounding situations gradually declines, making everyday life impossible. Due to the retroactive forgetfulness of SCP-2844-JP, it is generally not possible to recognize SCP-2844-JP as an anomaly. That being said, the exponential amplification of SCP-2844-JP's incidents triggered a worldwide fatal accidents and latent mayhem. The anomaly of SCP-2844-JP, which is difficult to recognize, has been exposed over a wide area in the distinct shape of human deaths. Its self-replicating nature spreading as a chain reaction. All those who were later designated Dread State events. And Foundation-initiated global observation measures. The Foundation's study focused on minimizing the possibility of exposure of the anomaly to the public and possibility of a total veil collapse. Study of SCP-2844 particularly advanced in the field of exophysics, which specializes in the study of abstract concepts. Various experiments were drafted and conducted by Dr. Placeholder in order to verify the existence of SCP-2844-JP. The earliest attempts of establishing proof were to determine through which means SCP-2844-JP widely transmitted. Experimentation on human subjects, the relevance of the anomaly under containment, and numerous other controlled experiments concluded that the fundamental replication of SCP-2844-JP depended on the substances already possessed by an exposed subject. This specifically included dead bodies of the exposed subjects, their excretions and remains, as well as the blood they use. The experiments, and this is by Simon Glass, this is the wonderful note that we have been left on this record. Since the experiments on Site-17 started, we are more or less capable of identifying SCP-2844-JP. SCP-2844-JP is essentially a set of human perceptions. In early experiments, many recovery units were infected with SCP-2844-JP through perception of the remains of exposed D-Class personnel. Some of them can only speak nonsense. They look at me as if I'm not even there. I'm not an expert in SO physics, but I can confirm a few things. SCP-2844-JP is caused by a distortion of one's perception. People exposed to SCP-2844-JP will try and convey the threat therein to others. They do this in a way they only can, clearly. The dead bodies, an admonition, the spilled blood a warning. The infected actively warn others of danger. Looking at their reactions, we can't help but understand this. This is something we must not become aware of. Simon Glass, Psychological Evaluation Team on Site-17. Addendum 3, 2844-JP Evidence. The following series of records are excerpts from a report on Site-17 researcher who was exposed to the effects of SCP-2844-JP in its earlier stages. In this document are details on the specific nature of 2844-JP and dread state events observed by the researcher, as well as the log documenting believed to be of great importance to the study of the object in question. All Foundation personnel viewing this are encouraged to advance the study on SCP-2844-JP and report any new findings to upper management. Introduction. Below is recorded all I know, all that I can still remember. Inside this terminal, I have recorded all that I know about SCP-2844-JP. How do I remember the object's number? I can't even explain it myself. We built this terminal using a unique exophysical formula. This terminal most likely isn't affected by anomalous antimemetic qualities the object possesses. If the weak radio signal emitted from this Foundation site-like building are reaching the outside world, then the data recorded on this terminal must be reaching the real-world Foundation, if the real world is still standing, of course. The time I have left is probably not a lot. I have lost the majority of the memories that I believe are over 40 years of my life. In my time working for the Foundation, now this terminal records what little is left. The bits of my brain yet to be erased barely hold together like fine thread, and soon that too will disappear. I sense a noticeable decline in my abilities to perceive my surroundings. I will die like an old man with dementia, left alone inside an empty house, having forgotten everything, my own self included. Perhaps there is a meaning in me continuing my research. It's like I'm not the last person to be exposed to this object. I don't know if you're a researcher involved in an incident, a pitiful D-Class, or even someone who wholly unrelated to the Foundation. Regardless, I hope my research saves your life and becomes a bridgehead that leads to the way out of here. Even if someone else basks in light, even if it's just you and me amidst the dark, you must stand and never stop walking. Document 2844-JP.02, Dread State. This illusory world is, as far as we understand, an anomalous world metaphysically controlled by SCP-2844-JP. A mere imitation of the real world. Humans captured in the semi-permanently expanding field, referred to as subjects, are probably transferred to a space with a mixture of various buildings and places taken from the memory of said subjects. We believe direct escape from this space is impossible. Every fundamental truth and law inside this space appear to stop at a certain point with the memories of the subject. Not every kind of species have been discovered inside this space. There's no functioning media, trains, internet, or any other social infrastructure. Being said, water and electricity are available as usual. Non-anomalous fresh goods of unclear origin are displayed inside convenience stores. Food and the like show no signs of decomposition even within a few days, and consumed products are replenished after a few days. From the results of a short walk, many areas inside the space appear to be distorted compositions of various regions centered around the subject's memories. Areas include the space. The areas inside the space appear to be chosen from locations connected to the subject inside the space. It is possible to assume that it's generated as reflections of the subject's memories and experiences. The important part is that it is not just a hallucination. It is precisely part of SCP-2844-JP's anomaly. This illusory world is made of memory fragments. It is one that intentionally produces fear. Document 2844-JP.3. August 15th. August 15th at 12:30 noon. Okay, that was dumb. I don't understand what happened to me. Not at all. I was supposed to be working on the research site of an object at 17. I found myself in this place now on like a foundation site. Right next to me is the body of another worker, one that I don't know the name of. Appears to have died of starvation. Must have died not too long ago, judging by her state of decomposition. I must start tomorrow by putting her away. I dealt with the bodies of many of the D-class when I was in Greenhorn, but this is the first time I've dealt with the body of a colleague. For the time being, I'll carry the body to the morgue on the west side of the site that supplement shows. I don't know how beneficial cryopreservation would be here, but it'd be better than burning them so I can preserve evidence. I think there are two abnormalities at play here, including the possibility that I've already gone insane. First is that this is a type of anomaly that targets a specific person. Second, the placement of the body, perhaps to lure in other workers. Either way, I don't expect to be stylishly rescued like in the last episode of a TV drama. Anyways, if the already reported anomalous nature of this space is accurate, I have about a week left before my sanity goes away. Still, the abnormal colors I see are already making me nauseous. August 16th. The situation isn't changing for the better. I spent the whole day examining the dead body and found nothing abnormal past the exogenous brain damage I had already written about. There has to be something else. Yes, it's devouring your head. When I think of all the pain I'll endure in the following days, maybe it would be easier just to die. 9 bodies in the mortuary now. If you ignore the emaciation, they look as if they were sleeping peacefully. They all died not remembering who they were. In that regard, it was a happy way for them to die. August 17th. I write this while my memory is still fresh and intact. I saw the shape of the anomaly for the first time. I've written this many times in my journal, but I am convinced of it. It's staring at me. It's observing me in some way. When I recognized it, it stared back. That is a component of analysis of matter in this world as recorded already produces no results. Unless the testing device is broken, this means it possesses no physical mass, nor is a spiritual entity. One thing I'm able to understand is that the water here smells like blood. August 18. It took about 2 weeks to successfully send the data to the outside through the terminal, which works thanks to an extremely incomprehensible principle. They transplanted a mobile phone radio base station from outside into a camper car in order to connect it to the PDA terminal. Being inside of this fake site, there's nothing new to discover except for my amnesia getting worse and worse. I suspect that many corpses strewn across the site perished trying to find a way out. I must be the only idiot running around the building radio stations all over the place. Never would have thought my old degree in electrical engineering would come in handy in a place like this. But all the food, tools, and spare fuel I could find inside the camper car, although I don't know if this is a place you can travel by car in the first place. If this world was smaller, I would have been able to modify a drone. It would take me half a year to produce an automatic machine capable of flying hundreds of kilometers. I wish I was able to go there with an agent who is a professional pilot. I will depart early tomorrow morning. I believe it makes sense to keep this record no matter what happens to me. August 19th. The day following departure, the world's days and nights disappeared. I'm always walking amidst a slimy orange color. I crossed New York's Brooklyn Bridge not too long ago. Now I am in Matsumoto City, in Nagano Prefecture. The 3-day detour around the Japanese Alps was a complete waste, it seems, in both cities. There are almost no suburbs. Only famous landmarks and urban areas connected through layers like distorted photocopies. How can layers of memories create such an ominous place? My parents lived in the city. The worn-out tiled roofs and the well-maintained garden look exactly how I remember them. and it felt like my mother would come out from the front door and greet me at any moment. I stood in front of the entrance but stopped when I felt a real entity inside. I opened my sliding door while making sure I wasn't standing in front of it, a crow-like bird jumping out from inside. I immediately tried to follow it, but it disappeared before I had the chance. Don't know whether it was a real creature or an illusion. The air there felt like a breath of a fierce beast flowing from inside my parents' house. I immediately got out of there. I don't think I'll ever return to that place. August 20th. After searching for a month, I essentially discovered the end of this world. An endless red sea, stunning as far as the eye can see. All the river water entering the ocean looked normal. Just to be sure, I diluted it 100 times and lightly poked at it. Immediately after, I had an unexplained headache and wiped my hands on a white towel. The towel was covered in blood. I drove around all day. Why do I feel like the JP SCPs are scarier than the other ones? Because Japanese horror is just fucking good. The facts. I drove around all day, the coastline looking all the same, and of course there wasn't anything decent like a ship lying around. Maybe it's the same scenery repeating over and over again. I think I wouldn't mind falling into hell just to get out of here. But that's a stupid idea. This place is hell. Got into hell without even dying in the first place. The road I came from is gone. I can't return from the coast anymore. Shit. August, number redacted. I feel like this is the first time I touched this PDA in many days. The food and water I brought has run out. It's incredible that I haven't lost my appetite after all the strange headaches and amnesia I've had for many days now. With the exception of these records, there's nothing that tells me how I got to this place. Right now, I'm a new employee who just joined the Foundation. All my decades of research gone from my head. When I joined the Foundation, I thought my life was over. I thought I would die under the Foundation's eternal monitoring. Without a chance to demonstrate my abilities, but maybe I was sent here so that I could recover my life. Ironically enough, the Foundation was a truly wonderful place. The Foundation was the one who put these chains on me, and the Foundation was also the one who set me free from them. As I am soon to die, I give these words to you, to anyone who dares read this. Welcome to the Foundation. I hope you find some way to go, even in a world like this. These anomalies are eating at me, eating the entirety of me. They crave me. End excerpts. Addendum 4, 2844JP Time Series. On 21/11/12, due to the large-scale SCP-2844JP event expanding that occurred worldwide, the Foundation declared an outbreak of a class-lifted veil event. Formally declaring the event required the partial collapse of the veil, the boundary between the normal and anomalous that the Foundation preserves. This unprecedented situation receiving maximum priority listed below a list of notable events up until early 2021. Statement ends. Yeah, no, that really is some Magnus Archives ass shit, isn't it? 2021-10-10. And this is the date, and these are the major events that followed, by the way. SCP-2844-JP-A signings. SCP-2844-JP-A2 approximately to A7 before the Foundation learned of it. Japanese public media reported it as mysterious deaths of 5 men and women. Traveling logs indicate that SCP-2844-JP-A2 and further A5 further traveled to the United States and Taiwan, respectively. Furthermore, an anonymous person took a photograph of SCP-2844-JP-A and posted it through SNS. Foundation web crawlers deleted the post within an hour, but browsing analytics shows that over 200,000 people managed to see the picture. 2021-10-11. Operation Getaway is deployed. Tactical Command is on the purpose of simultaneous investigations of real SCP-2844-JP cases throughout Southeast China, the United States, and Europe. A lockdown was put into effect by Foundation, temporarily freezing the authority of relevant nations. This lockdown continued for 2 weeks. Yeah, Japanese horror is just like that. It's part of why I really like it. I really like the idea of that just deep down mental fear. 2021-10-15, a total of 7 SCP-2844-JPA cases were reported in the United States, Taiwan, China, and Brazil. Site CN-19 reported staff in the early stages of exposure. Tactical operations to secretly terminate exposed individuals were carried out across all Foundation branches. Fuck. SCP 2021-10-20 SCP-2844-JP cases reported throughout Asia, Africa, and North America. In the United States, an outbreak has occurred in 13 states. Citizens dissatisfied with lockdown rioted, and some directly attacked the White House. All events are suppressed. 2021-10-22 President of the United States, Joe Biden, reported as SCP-2844-JPA229. Records at the time of death released to the public. First case of Joe Biden's dead, everybody. The Japanese meme got him. He got Biden blasted. First case of SCP-2844-A affecting the Italian branch reported in sites Pluton and Minerva. Project Lapis put under consideration. 2021-10-23 Complete information control of media achieved. Worldwide protests and riots continued. Several paranormal organizations such as the Global Occult Coalition and the Serpent's Hand and Mana Charitable Foundation started a full-scale intervention. Due to the internal leak, part of SCP-2844-JP's research reached the Global Occult Coalition. SCP-2844-JP's disruption class is revised to a Meta class. 2021-10-25 Several small countries are overthrown. At this point, the total number of SCP-2844-JPA cases are believed to be in the 20,000 and 200,000s, and the total number of exposed individuals are believed to be in 2 million. Gotta be strong. We're gonna finish it up. We're almost done. We got like halfway there. 2021-11-04 3 Portland's Falls. Several African countries fall into anarchy. Foundation headquarters announces the launch of Operation Final Reckoning, a command with the purpose of re-stimulating the global economy. Foundation assets are provided to many countries. Final Reckoning hopes to achieve the restoration of the global economy following a continuous massive decline in stock prices. 2021-11-09 SCP-2844-JPA cases reported in all nations of the world. All networks are quarantined with people living in closed communities. Revisions of the Pangea Act are implemented with all approval of the O4 Council. The Board of Japanese Area Directors, the Lusophone Directorial Board, Italian Branch Superintendents, and the Department of Eschatology. The O5CN Council, the 3 Enclosures Command, the Portuguese Section Superintendents, and the Czech Council of Regional Directors. All branches' high commands have released their maximum authority in order to minimize the spread of 2844-JP. Addendum 5. 2844-JP's Project Monogon. Monogon? Okay. This is going to be another meeting. I would recommend you guys read this. Like I said, I'm going to put all of the SCPs that we have read today into the description for you guys post-stream, so that way everybody can have a little bit of an experience of their own. At present time, SCP-2844-JP's anomalies confirmed can only be observed in the shape of suspicious human deaths and abnormal mayhem upon their perception. What has differed from the initial cases is the anomaly identified as SCP-2844-JP dread state. With the initial cases, dread state expanded through the direct perception of unknown individuals. It expands using SCP-2844-JPA as a vector. The scope has expanded from corpses designated as SCP-2844-JPA to related matters, beings, concepts, even languages. The expansion process is especially remarkable in the area of language. Due to this, as a physics department research team of Site-17 and Site-17's upper management held a joint meeting proposing Project Monogon. Forward. SCP-2844-JP is a lethal cognitohazard is considered serious threat following the retroactive discovery of fatal accidents. The Foundation's current objective is to fully contain SCP-2844-JP and preventing an AK-class civilization collapse. End of world scenario. Following a collaborative proposal between Dr. Placeholder McDoctorate and Dr. Bedrock Enders, a worldwide protocol implementation was drafted. The Foundation's unlimited assets to be invested into the project. The main concern of Project Monogon is containment of metaphysical concepts utilizing low-risk anomalies possessed by the Foundation. Summary. On one hand, SCP-2844-JP adheres to the concept of fear. It relies on itself to establish its own existence. It keeps the subject alive by manifesting in them smaller fears, self-replicating through the spread of that fear. On the other hand, SCP-2844-JP erases those who become a threat to its existence. In this case, those who can perceive the true nature of SCP-2844-JP. This is the second anomaly of SCP-2844-JP. Verification by the Formality Department has identified SCP-2844-JP's anomalous conditions and reactions that are worth mentioning, and they have been listed below. This is a list of conditions and reactions to those conditions. Perception of dread state event, seeing a dead body. Reaction, unfeasible anxiety, spreading of fear. Condition of dread state event through repetition, multiple sightings and perception, somewhat severe intrinsic SCP-2844-JP awakening. Irregular naming of SCP-2844-JP using a decorative expression, instinct urge to flee, no reaction. Mechanical memory accumulation of SCP-2844-JP naming conventions. Example, Galileo.AIC. Reaction, hostility. Use of terms on SCP-2844-JP exposed subjects. Neutral or hostile responses. Items associated with JP-2844 exposed subjects, hostility, and a deleted response. All terminology related to data corrupted and reaction deleted. According to the Formality Memetic Division, these are series of processes believed to be impacted by the deep psyche of all human beings. These processes are related to cognitive curves created by means of cognitive resonance. Exposed subjects' thoughts regarding the true nature of SCP-2844-JP. Perception 1. Exposed subjects attempts to understand SCP-2844-JP. Condition. Perception 2. SCP-2844-JP is a clear danger. Reaction. Perception 1, trying to understand, and Perception 2, recognizing and avoiding danger, create contradictory behaviors. In order to resolve this cognitive dissonance, the infected logically assign multiple distinct perceptions. Logically assigned perceptions and additional attempts. Perception 1. Exposed subjects attempt to understand SCP-2844-JP. Condition. Perception 2. SCP-2844-JP is a clear danger. Reaction. Perception 3. SCP-2844 is itself a threat, but a risk simultaneously a pleasure. Reaction. As specifically, the exposed subject attempts to understand SCP-2844-JP's risk as a justifiable risk in order to attain pleasure. This true nature of SCP-2844-JP is a cognitive dissonance. The logical shift towards the justification is what we understand as JP-2844's nature. Processes. As mentioned above, human logic gates give form to SCP-2844-JP. The Foundation calls this a physical AND gate, which means that the perception of 1 cannot happen without the perception of 2 and 3, and vice versa. It's this point that the Foundation focuses on with Project Monocon's containment principle being the logical breakdown through component substitution. The Alabaster program is an artificially constructed pseudo-cognitohazard, a counter meme developed by Site-17's memetic department. Several effective objectives have been submitted by the Foundation, which induce paranormal perception, inhibiting the ability on the subject. The Alabaster program is generally spread through humankind according to several protocols under Monog jurisdiction described below. The exposed subjects acquire a permanent minor cognitohazard, and specifically limit the means of resolving the dissonance and connect thoughts through the final rejection of SCP-2844-JP. By naturally inhibiting perception, the Alabaster program cancels feelings of discomfort and prevents the expansion of SCP-2844-JP without surface effects. Specifically, the measures are as following: preventing the perception of the universal existence of SCP-2844-JP-A and further spread of that meme threat. Mitigating mental abnormalities generated by SCP-2844-JP and interfering with the dissonance that leads to suicidal thoughts. Altering the dissonance in order to avoid the risk of exposed subjects transforming in SCP-2844-JP-A and prolonging the time until death of exposed subjects. The program is non-lethal and is possible to modify with more powerful means. The lethality and potential of SCP-2844-JP are overwritten by the contents of Alabaster program, retroactively removing its existence from memory. The Physics research team and the memetics department of the Formality department have acquired the necessary power to weaponize the Alabaster program. The Alabaster program exists to eliminate and contain SCP-2844-JP. Surrealistic quantum coverage layers. Abstract weapons designed in collaboration with the Surrealistics department macroscopically measures wave functions uncertainty and reflects unlimited uncertainty of reality through illogical superlaws. Through its practical application, Site-17 has succeeded in obtaining virtually unlimited resources. It also makes it possible for Alabaster program to vary at will, offering exposed subjects more effective options. Verandi Melodrama Gyanu Piercing Tail Modification. I don't understand those words. Also known as the Thresher device, a large-scale reality-altering mechanism which includes cognitohazard vectors, which partial application on the pataphysical aspect is able to completely transform narrative structures. Theory is incomplete, and its application on a temporal aspect successfully allows for finite thinking time. Berryman-Langford Advanced Cognitohazard Vector. The cheapest and most effective manner in which to apply Alabaster program as natural self-replicating process is the spread of societal cultural meme. The meme in question affects the abstracted language and widely spreads to the general public. The meme in question has an anomalous grammar structure derived from several objects possessed by the Foundation. I can't read. Update. All procedures for Project Monog have been accomplished. Failed to log in. Fatal error. Multiple unauthorized accesses detected. Stationary task force sent to restrain you. Please stand by. Ha, joke's on you. You can't get me, motherfucker. Be really funny if they just broke in right now. They just broke in all of a sudden. Oh no, I'm retained. Whoa. Ooh, it's spooky. There are a lot of interviews in this thing. And now we have a cognitohazard warning, everybody. All information below. Sleep kicks in. And you're reading is your worst enemy for realsies, though. All information mentioned below must be safely stored in Site-17 archives in case the following information is accessed without the proper treatment of using Class W Nictics. In certain it's certain to have fatal, irreversible effects on the reader. If you are an intelligent being without proper countermeasures, quickly stop reading and report to Management Division. All information mentioned below serves as an anomalous entity. Though appropriate means, the file security level has been updated to level 5 until clear containment procedures are established. Known issues are to be noted by the project's co-lead, Dr. Placeholder McDoctorate, and Dr. Bedrock Enders. So, who's ready to get into the actual memetics of this? Whee! Item 2844JP, Containment Class Esoteric, Secondary Class Apollyon. So, for those of you who might not be familiar with deeper terminology, I'm going to double check this. Yep. Alright. So, an Apollyon SCP is an anomaly that cannot be contained, and they are expected to breach containment very easily. It's a little bit similar to how a Keter class anomaly would be very easy to, very hard to, like, drag out, but a Keter class anomaly is also still containable, in a way. The unfortunate part about our good buddy here is that it's not containable, and we will suffer for that. You know. Special definition, Apollyon. Item cannot be contained and are actively causing the end of the world. Special containment procedures. The Foundation is hurrying an established countermeasure to the fatal hazard of 2844JP and is currently bringing to humankind. Please refer to the Operation Manual 28jp.vine regarding immediate and suitable responses to the outbreak of dread state events that have been observed worldwide. The Foundation is currently spending unlimited resources and executing countermeasures regarding the outbreak of worldwide anomalies. Can you escape the blinding smell outside of... Yeah. Update. Multiple memetic concepts that compose SCP-2844-JP have been spread to all human beings through the seizing of Alabaster program. The Foundation disseminated the words that could currently activate 2844JP make up a grammatical structure of 43% of all languages. The smallest array of SCP-2844JP's unit is in general filled with fear of certain beings, feelings of repression. The mutated Alabaster program has been filled with dominant, obtrusive thoughts, replacing the anti-memetic content planned for Project Monog. The concepts the Alabaster program controls do not stop at language, eroding multiple perceptions in a chain of trends, customs, traditions, regulations, and mechanisms, folklore, narrative, identification, memes, etc. The current Alabaster program and SCP-2844 are both hostile towards all living beings and also unnaturally possessive towards existence. SCP-2844-JP is particularly belligerent towards human life and will attempt to prey on them. SCP-2844-JP must be suppressed as soon as possible. Addendum 7. 2844-JP Doubt and Recovery. Attempts to find the origin of 2844-JP as a physically or partially undergoing. Many of the memetic structures of SCP-2844-JP relied on Japanese cultural memes, Japanese culture, classical Japanese literature. However, these memes are highly altered, involving anomalous biological structures, medical supplies, foodstuff, entertainment, weapons, etc., that are impossible through normal science. Furthermore, some meme components internationally contain many genetic concepts. In this case, the cultural prominence in the past 200 years, with all memes affected to ancient Japanese culture. The most symbolic meme is a circular, hollow, orange DNA structure representing life. To prevent the fatal collapse of human civilization at the hands of SCP-2844-JP's influence, attempts to epistemologically decontamination exclusion were carried out by the Foundation through the use of potential assets and multiple anomalies. Below is SCP-2844-JP's experimental records. There's so much in here. We are almost done. We are nearing the end. This one's just a long one. Trial 2844JP.5 Cure Procedure Administering Exposed Complex Antibiotic that reproduced the effects of SCP-500. The subject is within 12 hours of SCP-2844JP exposure, and no fatal damage to color perception and awareness have been identified. Output. The quarantine subject was left with lower body paralysis following 2 hours of strong rejection with perception. Sensation and color blindness completely recovered. Lower hemiplegia occurs without related trauma, cause unknown. Following the subject's appropriate mental care and memory treatment, psychiatric examination is taken, and its influence is believed to be completely removed. Subject temporarily returns to duty in order to collect data on their possession. Result. 3 days later, the subject appears to have been exposed to SCP-2844-JP, again for unknown reasons. At the same time, memories of appropriately excluded subjects are confirmed to have been fully restored. No information on high-rank personnel who have conducted the test and granted clearance for the procedure is available. It was concluded that an anomaly that cleared deviation from inner structure had occurred. Case has been submitted to RISA Archives and was given Garuva threat class as a serious case. Current investigation into serious info hazard case represents ongoing. That means your bed is ready for you. I know, I'm so ready for sleepy times. Trial 2844JP.001 Hazard. Procedure. Applying Serious One narrative structure, Erzazat engine, and anti-operation node will assign a fatal lost file. The entry number for SCP-048. Through surrealistic reverse operation, redefine the assignment order of SCP-2844-JP as maximum priority into blank SCP-28448 as SCP-048 number. Due to the cursed narrative structure, SCP-2844-JP is destroyed or released. Following Erzat's engine self-introduction of lost file, appropriate 2844-JP information is introduced. After a certain amount of thinking, Erzat, I don't know what that word means. I can't pronounce that correctly. Engine outputs rejection scarlet due to the timeout of narrative structures in the class of uncertain realities. Surrealities. SCP-048 number is suppressed through impossible and read massive data. SCP-2844 is unshakable. Site-17's top management, for the sake of resisting multiple incidents known to occur inside the Foundation, are to build the final SCP-2844 dissolution program. It is extremely difficult to observe SCP-2844-JP on a macroscopic scale, and we have been thinking for a long time on what the reason is. Because it doesn't exist? Because it's a hollow concept? Some of these could be right, but for SCP-2844-JP, it didn't matter, as we couldn't think about it normally until now. While the madness engulfed me, I kept thinking about it until I couldn't function anymore, and then I reached the conclusion that SCP-2844 is exceedingly majestic, sacred, and above the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. That's what they are. Simply a god. We can even surpass God. By contrasting SCP-2844 with another concept, we confront the world with the truth. Forward. Project Monong's fatal blunder resulted in the spread of chaos and abnormalities on a worldwide scale. Under the premise of a complete veil collapse, the Foundation is attempting to completely and partially contain SCP-2844-JP. The Formality Department estimates there to be a period of approximately 13 days before SCP-2844-JP erodes all languages and collapses the perception of cultures. The urgent matter of containing SCP-2844-JP is drafted in front of our eyes as an attempt of dismantling SCP-2844-JP anomalies. Summary: at this time, the condition and results of the Formality Department are as seen here. Perception of dread state event, hostility. Conditioning of dread state event through repetition, hostility. Irregular naming of SCP-2844 using decorative expressions, hostility. Mechanical memory accumulation of SCP-2844-JP's naming conventions, hostility. Use of terms on SCP-2844's exposed subjects, hostility. Items associated with SCP-2844-JP exposed subjects, hostility. All terminology related to fantastical wastelands, hostility. As seen above, the nature of SCP-2844-JP has actively been clearly modified. The Department of Miscommunications and Office of Tactical Theology planned this operation taking into account the absence of cognitive dissonance currently building within the poison. The Foundation can contain God. Method. The counter-name Alabaster Program is still partially under Foundation control. Alabaster Program is reformed to disseminate certain unused languages, assuming the language if there is no expression of concepts. Governed by SCP-2844-JP, overrides the subject's perception of the language and disseminates with. It'd disable the spread of fear of SCP-2844-JP. The Alabaster Program is an affirmation. At the time the stronger perception starts interfering with the existing dissonance, we'll make the most suitable decision in order to remove this dissonance, with SCP-2844-JP collapsing into self-contradiction. Alabaster Language Infection Program. Alabaster Language Program is currently affirmative towards humankind. Encourages the extinction of SCP-2844-JP through reality alteration. Due to inconsistency in perceptions and transmission, 2844-JP will not spread further. Let's see here. Alert! VMP. Tail modified has been damaged. Lethal damage to reality layer confirmed. Signs of self-decay cognito-hazardous vectors. Immediate critical potential due to piercing tail modification. Secondary damage due to Operation Cyanide. Newly modified Alabaster Program has temporarily started the common understanding of SCP-2844-JP toward mankind. This is expected to be accompanied by fragmentary collapse of base reality components, potentially including a partial CK-class event. For the sake of complete eradication of 2844-JP, the Foundation continues Operation Cyanide. The discovery of Japanese branch Old Report is believed to contain an important content regarding the origin of SCP-2844-JP. Foundation is currently continuing to investigate the 4 ancient entities partially described in the report. Access granted. SCP redacted. Object class redacted. Special containment procedures. SCP redacted is unobtainable and unrecognizable. SCP redacted must immediately be destroyed. SCP redacted. Destroy SCP redacted. Description. Start of an audio transcription and log output. Alexandra, are you alright? Let's continue. Assuming the transcription has been restored by the time you hear this, either the book burning has been lifted or an outbreak took place. Let me tell you what redacted is. In the former Japanese branch of the Foundation, there's an anomaly called redacted. We didn't know its true nature, and ignorantly broke its containment. We liberated Redacted from its fantasy world. There was a former employee who recklessly volunteered their own body, sealing its existence at the bottom of the earth. Thanks to his or her deed, it was sealed to the deepest depths, so that existence would never be known. Redacted was contained through words, and these words destroyed until they were all disappeared. These fragments of word were scattered all over the world, and when some people tried to restore them, they had the technology but were ignorant. They released Redacted, devoured the institution, leaving death behind. You probably know that part. If an outbreak did happen, you might have to discover the facility, or perhaps no. It doesn't change anything. It was only a matter of time. They'll eat, and they'll have the heart to exist in this world, and they'll keep going until it's time to stop. It's a finite time, and for you, it's a terrifyingly long amount of time. They're alive, feeding, thinking, judging, pulsating, and above all else being a meme. The true nature of a meme is self-replication. Above all else, they prioritize self-preservation, even if it stops their metaphorical hunt. Have you discovered their nest? You don't have much time then. Did you not find them? It's too late then. Have you found those who nest in the dark? Only death awaits you. You've reported the same mistakes they made. Your only chance smashed to pieces. Why did you unearth it? Were you not afraid of failure when you brought it on board into daylight? What the Foundation needs is not an inquisitive mind and the like. If you just wander, losing sight of your foundational principles, only ruin awaits you. I only want everything to be as it always was. I wanted you to die in the dark. If that's why you say it's too late, at least try and atone for it. Contain the children before it all goes down the drain, before the chicks eat it all. Secure your past failures, contain your current blunders, and please protect your future. As for them, we've all failed. Decryption data. Despite the failure of presenting the outbreak, a fatal AK-class scenario execution, Project Cyanide was successful in completely avoiding the spread risk of SCP-2844-JP entity. Ganymede protocol is currently in active phase, and SCP-2000 reboot is officially in schedule. SCP-2844-JP subjects are to be terminated through appropriate means of the Alabaster program. At the time of writing this report, all Foundation confidential information has been released, automated through the system based on Protocol Declassified 403. All control has been entrusted to the site's artificially intelligent conscript, with each inappropriate section of the report revised. Fatal error has occurred. This connection is terminated. File confirmations stalemate in deletion process due to irregular SCP-2844-JP factors. File deleted. Access unauthorized. Welcome, user! This is for you! Shining in 5 vibrant colors is the one who announces the end of the story. Perception burns bright red. Everything melts and disappears. Under the unnameable name, the Magnificent One takes flight. Idols, beliefs, fictions, abysses that are yet known. We will see it, and then it will see us. When it devours the world, madness will fill it like an inflamed belly. Read its noble winds, watch its sublime wings. Reality-altering words will fill it all, and then all will be consumed. The Queen gave birth to the cycle, and then it died out. By the new king who's been birthed, a blessing comes this way. When the facts cease to be true, let's celebrate then. Our brand new scarlet children. We'll never forget that. Unable to confirm response from terminal. Timeout has occurred. And that's the end of that. Well, kids, there's your cognito hazard for the day. How we doing? How we holding up? Oh, I'm so sleepies. That is the end of that. I am very tired, sleepy. But it's been a good night. It's been a while since we got the chance to actually sit down and read. Oh, that was extremely long. I do like reading these longer articles when I get the chance, but it's very rare that I actually get the chance. Mostly because we don't often read them super frequently, but you know. Yeah, thank you. I'm hoping that you all had a really good night tonight. I know that this is a little bit different than usual. Tomorrow afternoon, take a bit of time, but I'm planning on doing something. We might start mouthwashing tomorrow if I really feel like it, but it might be that we just play a little bit of Off or some other horror game. I haven't quite made up my mind, you know? It's time for sleep, though. I'm hoping for the best. I will get some rest, and I will see you guys later, you know? The stream is different. The stream is amazing. Thank you. I'm glad I'm glad we've had the time to just chill. So thank you guys for coming. It's gonna be EP times for me. Way past my bedtime. I will get good heaps. Thank you guys for coming again. Hopefully we can have a really nice evening. Thank you for coming by. Good night, good night. Everybody get some rest. Have a wonderful night. And I will see you all soon. Good night, good night. Bye-bye. Yeah, you go sleep too. We all need sleep.